Welcome back to the Big Three, the only three, the DEEP3 NBA show. I'm your host, Miguel Fernandez, alongside Nicholas Lujan.
Hey, what's up, guys? We back at it again. Brand new episode. Start off the week real nice. We had a great weekend. We had football. Football's coming, playoffs, shit. And then, we're already halfway through the season. We need like pretty much a month for All Star break. So
Yeah, once All-Star break goes through, it's gonna start getting spicy.
yeah, I think right now it's already spicy. Just like looking at the standing,
Yeah,
especially in the East. Like after we just beat Philly just won against Heat and they lost, and then the Bucks lost that night too. It's like right there.
and the Bulls lost, so they literally all
The
the
Cavs are
Sixers are
right there
two
too.
behind. The Cavs and
The
the Sixers got like the
Cavs,
same record. They're two
yeah,
behind the 4 seed, and then the 1 through 4 is pretty much a game behind, or less than a game and a half separated. Then all 4 teams. Yeah,
yeah. Pretty
it's
much
still a
every team
toss
is
up.
2 games different, so
It's a
it's like
toss up still to get the first seed.
for sure. They've been competing.
Because you
It's
look at it
competitive this year. Yeah, they're competitive. There's good ass teams in
a
the
week
East.
a week from today, you would have thought that Chicago was starting to run away with it because they had like a 3 game lead. Then they just dropped 3 games in a row.
Yeah,
So
they
it's
lost
like
3 in a row,
anything can happen.
and they play good teams, but
Yeah,
and
then
they
you
just
got
lost. Zach
Zach
Levine went
Levine.
down
Yeah,
on.
we had a couple injuries this weekend with Zach
Yeah, I'm
Levine
pretty
and
sure it was a sprained knee, right? It
yeah, I
was the
think
same
something
shit
like
as
that.
KD.
Like it was like a hyperextended something
Oh, I was
like
like,
that.
but I don't think it's that long as KD. I think it was way shorter, right? Like 2 weeks. Two to
Yeah, it's gonna get reevaluated in 2 weeks, I think.
yeah,
And Kevin Durant got injured this weekend against
yeah.
the
He got injured.
Pelicans.
Yeah, I hate to see big ass stars. Like, if I'm a Nets fan, I'm gonna say like personally, like a Philly fan, when I see him be touch the ground every time, that shit scares me because it's like every time he goes to the lane, like they found him, bro. They really do found him, and he's big and he plays with so much power. And just seeing a big like I don't him just dealing with like last season so much hyperextended knees, seeing him fall, like it's just you know what I'm saying. You don't
Yeah,
want to see the stars going
nobody likes
down.
seeing they start going.
And
I
like
cover my
KD
mouth
coming
when I
like
see Jimmy
injuries,
fall.
like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, he did have an knee injury, so him time he touches his knee is like, oh shit, it's a big concern for everybody. But he's gonna go down for like 4 to 6. Like it's kind of long. I think that could affect Brooklyn Nets definitely like in the standings. I think because KD's been your best player. He's been getting you
The
through
most
these like
consistent player too.
these tough teams. You know what I'm saying? Like he's been their best player for sure. And James Harden hasn't been good, but this James Harden is gonna have to step up for sure and try to win at least a couple games without KD.
At least go a positive
Or
in that
hey,
stream.
they're like fuck it, we're taking a fine until KD come back. Kyrie, get your ass in the court
I've seen
because
that Kyrie could play 11 out of the next 14 games. They have a lot of road games coming up. Like
that's really good.
they have a road schedule, so Kyrie's gonna be able to play most of these games probably within like the next month. But then it's gonna
Yeah,
be
actually, it's pretty good.
he
Then
might be out till All-Star break. Honestly, they probably just gonna keep him out until
yeah,
All-Star
they
break.
are.
Kevin
They
Durant.
definitely will. They definitely will.
I mean, we have to do our All-Star teams. The rest we did the starters a couple weeks ago. We gotta do the rest of them probably next week.
Yeah.
But before we get into it, we're gonna cover the last week we talked about the team needs. Today we're talking about team positives. What makes these teams good? What makes these teams contenders? And how would they boost themselves into a championship with their play? But first, we gotta discuss the games of the weekend for sure. Not really too much crazy. Big win of the weekend for Philadelphia, beating the Miami Heat. We've seen Joel Embiid show why he's a superstar in this league. Just outplayed Jimmy Butler completely. And yeah, what were your thoughts on that?
It was definitely a good ass win. We need this confidence booster because first of all, you guys are a great team. You know what I'm saying? B said it
Mhm.
like you guys are one of the best teams in the right now in the NBA. So to just pick up a win is a confidence booster, and in the standings, we actually did need it. So it was pretty good. And
Yeah,
then
it's
B
good to beat
showed,
teams ahead of you.
and then B kind of does struggle against you guys. He had like the worst first half against you guys. Like one of his worst. He said it personally. One of his worst first half. In the second half, he comes out and balls out and just came clutch and in the fourth, and he was hitting his mid range. It was unstoppable. He wasn't missing. So when you do have him playing that good, it's gonna be hard. And another thing that I thought we personally played good. I thought on defense, I thought we played good. George Yang had a big game. Like he played that Tucker role out there. I mean, if he could play like that, physical, just coming in, rebounding, just coming in shooting. He had 45 threes, I think. Like he could just do stuff like that. I mean, he's been good all season, honestly. You know what I'm saying? He has his inconsistency there and there a couple of times. I'm saying, but I mean, he's been really good. I'm actually happy with where we're at because I know when like I think a month ago I could have sworn you guys said that the Philly might not even make the playoffs,
Yeah, I thought they was gonna be in the play-in.
and
They're going through a good stretch right now.
they've been turning it around. Like I think, and Beat's been playing good. So if you know what I'm saying, when Beat's playing like MVP and B like last season, I think, like honestly, he's been good. Is that he has 10 consecutive 30 plus games, right? Yeah, I think it's even more now at this point. He dropped 30 every season.
I think it's 9.
Nah, it's 10 already. I seen it. He after the game, it was a game against before we went to play. Who was it? When we
The
played
Celtics.
Boston, I think. Yeah, he did it, and then he dropped 30 again against you guys. So he just looked unstoppable. What I love is he got to be aggressive. You know what I'm saying? Because you had PJ, then you had Jimmy, and then you're just all like triple teaming him, like just. I mean, but shit, he's been bomb. Look at that. Last 10 games, 31.8 points, 10 rebounds, and his assists, yo. He looks like he's been actually playmaking, passing out the post, which has been a big thing. You know what I'm saying? Now, what? It's pretty much like 5 assists, 4.5 assists. I mean, he's been playing good, honestly. And
playmaking's been way better
Steph
this
Curry's
season.
2 game, I think it's been the most effective this season. Like Tobias Harris having a horrible season, really bad. I mean, I think his confidence is down, man. I think
He had a good
he doesn't
game
look
though.
comfortable. I mean, he doesn't look comfortable. I don't know. Like he had a bad game against Boston. He's just inconsistent, like so inconsistent. But Steph Curry's been so like dominant with the 2 game and that mid range game. You know what I'm saying? You don't even see him shoot that many threes as last year, but you know what I'm saying? He's been good.
Yeah.
It was a good game though, for sure. Competitive. You know what I'm saying?
You could tell in the second half that both teams were tired too. It was a back-to-back.
It was
You
a
could just tell
back-to-back.
the second half. Even the way they started the game, both teams, it was a low-scoring game.
Yeah. The only thing is that Philly had to travel, but it's only a 3-hour flight. But I mean, they still had to travel. It was their way team.
Yeah,
So
they had to travel. Same shit, still back-to-back. The 3-hour flight. They probably got there
they went after the game. They said
like 4 in the morning. They probably got there.
they got there. Exactly. That's what they said. They left at like 12, like 1 in the morning. Got there like 4.
Yeah, they got a good production from when Tobias plays good and he's efficient. And this team is hard to beat. That's like it's been the biggest
and
question
shout out
mark
to
all
Maxi.
season.
I think Maxi had a huge game. I mean, like defensively, he had a good ass game.
Yeah,
He was moving his feet. He was like able to not hold. You know what I'm saying? He was doing his thing against Kyle Lowry. You know what I'm saying?
but now
Obviously, Kyle Lowry is a
horrible
vet.
game.
He's a no. I'm talking. Yeah, but I'm talking about like he's a vet. You know what I'm saying? There's possessions where you know what I'm saying where you know what I'm saying. He showed his vet. You know what I'm saying? His how he could play and take control of games.
Yeah, he had spurts throughout the game, but it just wasn't. At the end of the day, it just wasn't enough from him, Jimmy, Duncan Robinson. Like
Jimmy had a bad game.
everybody. Duncan Robinson 1 for 9, Jimmy 1 for 11, Kyle Lowry 2 for 11, Struz 3 for 12. Like everybody just outside of Yurtsevin, like everybody just played bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Caleb Martin had a great game.
He's a good player, man. Like he's gonna be really good. I don't know. Like, do you start Denman right now? I mean, after when Ben comes back, do you like cut your minutes? I mean, it's gonna be hard, honestly.
He's playing so good right now.
Playing so good. Like he's a threat off the alley. I mean, yeah, like he is minus 13. Like defense, like you said, he got attacked every single time.
Exactly.
But you got to think about it. He got to go against. He's going against Embiid. Like there's no guy, honestly, that moves other than Jokic. I think Jokic. The difference between him and Jokic is that they move the same, but I think you don't see a player 7-footer move that good and that powerful. What I mean by that is like how strong he goes to the lane. I'm saying he attacks like aggressive. You know what I'm saying? You see him poster. He's a great dunker. He's a strong finisher. That's not something that you didn't get from Jokic, but I mean obviously Jokic is different.
Yeah, Jokic has better touch around the rim. I feel like like Joel Embiid, his post work is him getting like to the rim. Jokic is like back to the basket. He's just throwing it up.
Yeah,
I think they have different kinds of post games. Both their post games are elite though. But yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do with Yurtseven. By the way, I really don't know. Spo he got something to because
that
like
man played 18. Obviously, yeah, you know what I'm saying.
I think
Yurtseven
he
had
had
better.
yeah, I think they both had good games too.
I mean, yeah, that man just came back, but I mean, your center rotations, yeah, I got something there, but it's gonna be hard what you're gonna do. Like honestly, I personally will go with Yurtseven.
I don't know. I feel like Dedmon is just a better. I think he's just a better player. I think Yurtseven, the stats he puts up are completely different, and he's like Dedmon is more efficient than him too. Like this game isn't gonna show it because he was 10 for 12 on the game, but all those were off of lobs. Like I just feel like he has better touch around the rim than him.
I don't know. He's
Like
been a big threat of games I've been watching. Watched a
yeah, like
couple
and
the
you look at
last
the
couple
last
weeks.
like couple weeks, he's gone up against Sabonis, outplayed him. He went up against
DeAndre Ayton, I watch
DeAndre
out.
Ayton outplayed him. He went up against a couple of centers. I'm like, damn, he's just outplaying
Capella,
everybody. Yeah, no, he didn't go up against Clint Capella. Clint Capella was out for the Hawks game.
he what?
I want to
Both
speak on that
games?
too. Yeah, he didn't play the both of them. He didn't play. I want to speak on that. The game the night before when we played against Atlanta and it was close coming down the stretch. Jimmy taking over was just like a sight that he had barely done this season. Like taking over in
In
the
the
fourth
fourth
quarter
quarter?
like that. Yes, he got the clutch basket, and Caleb Martin, he closed the game out for them. That was just like I'm starting to think that he might be a closer for the rest of the season because
No, he's really good for y'all.
they put him on
He's
these
a great
point
shooter.
guards. Yeah, he's shooting like 38%, and like the track record he has these last couple of weeks too. It's like he went into played Atlanta back-to-back games, held Trae Young, shut him down. Like Trae Young was done for both games. Went into Phoenix, shut Chris Paul down. The Golden State had a great defensive game against Stephen Curry. Like De'Aaron Fox kind of cooked him, but like these other point guards, he has a size athleticism to really keep up with these fast guards. But that's besides that game, there's nothing else that's really like worthy talking about. Chicago three
Yeah,
lows over the weekend. But Zach LaVine's out. We got to see how he recovers. We
yeah, he's
seen
out.
Jalen Suggs come back, and he had a solid 2 games. 16 against he had 16 against Dallas, and I think he had 12, 6, and 6. I think was the stat line against the Hornets in a win.
Oh, Luca and the Grizzlies was a good ass one. I think Luca beat the Grizzlies,
Yo,
man.
yeah.
That's another
We
good one.
predicted that too.
Yeah, I did.
We called it. We
I
both
just
said
knew.
it.
Yeah, we knew because I personally thought like Luca's just a vet. You know what I'm saying? He at these big games, he shows up, man. He knows how to win games. Just like you, he the same shit as Jokic. Like yeah, LeBron. I mean, it's harder for him, but like I mean, LeBron be putting stupid numbers. But like
Yeah, no,
these type of players are like you know what I'm saying. It doesn't matter who's on the court. It could be like 5 All-Stars. They could pull a win if you know what I'm saying. You're keeping them in the game. And Luca had a crazy triple double. I mean, he balled out, had a great game against a great team. You know what I'm saying? The fourth team in the West. So good
yeah,
win for them.
you could just tell too. Like I don't want to take no credit away from the Mavericks, but the Grizzlies were tired. Like they played a crazy stretch of games, 11 in a row, and I think this like it was like 8 games in 12 nights or 10 games in 12 nights. Like they just had like a crazy stretch of games, like a lot of games in a low amount of nights. Then the Jazz got a big win over the Nuggets last night too.
Yeah.
Jokic 25, 14 and 14. I think Rudy Gobert played a high game too. Donovan Mitchell does what Donovan Mitchell does. Yeah, I think that's about it. Friday, the Raptors beat the Bucks. I know you like that win for them. They've been
Yeah,
playing
that
great
was a good
basketball.
one. I feel like they always beat them. Like for real. I feel like they always be beating them. Like I think it's just a defensive scheme they have against like when I went to go look at Chris Middleton over like what he averaged against the Raptors. He averaged like 16, 17 points his whole career against the Raptors at like out of 19 games. Like, I mean, the Raptors are such a great defensive team. I don't know, like they always been a great defensive team against them. I mean, Nick knows how to stop Giannis. We've seen it in the playoffs, and this is the second time they beat them. I think, if I'm not mistaken. Right? If I'm not mistaken, I think it's the second time.
I have to look at it. I think it pops up though. I think I could scroll down and see their last
Uh huh.
shit. I guess
The
never mind. I don't know.
I think they did, but I mean, it was a definitely good ass win. And the Raptors been good, man. They've been making a run. Like the second half, I'm saying, oh, they're now healthy. OG's back. Pascal's been back. I'm saying he's been giving them good minutes. Fred VanVleet, like a sleeper for the All Star, which is gonna be hard for him to get in. But I want him to get in there, but it'll be hard.
I think Red VanVleet's definitely getting into the All-Star game. I think he has, like, you look at the other guards in the East, I think he has a better case. The guys he's competing with, like, I think the guys he's competing with is like the Darius Garlands, the LaMelo Balls, the Jaylen Browns, and I think he has a better case than all those guys. Me personally. And if he didn't make it, that would just be a shame, like straight up. But
yeah,
I think we could get into it. Do you want to start with the East or the West? Let's just go West.
Yeah, all right, let's go.
I'm gonna go first. I have the Phoenix Suns. Like deep diving into this team and maybe really like start thinking if I had them coming out the West. So basic stats, they're 6th in offensive rating, 2nd in defensive rating. Efficient as hell when it comes to the offensive side of the ball. 5th in 3-point percentage, 2nd in mid-range percentage, 5th in free throw percentage, 3rd in field goal percentage, and all. I think that just shows they have a great offensive system. They move the ball around. Efficient. They get open shots, pass up bad shots for good shots. You have 2 lead ball handlers in CP3 and Devin Booker that's gotten it done in a playoff setting before. They got the switchable wings with Miguel and Jay Crowder. Rim protectors on the court as well with Ayton and JaVale McGee. Multiple closers, multiple shooters, great big man depth. 2 great isolation and shot creators out of the pick and roll. Yeah, and I think this is their death lineup. This is where they're going to go to really get their money. CP3, Devin Booker, Mikal Bridges, slot out Jay Crowder. You put in Cam Johnson for the scoring with DeAndre Ayton. And this team has played a lot of minutes together, this lineup. I feel like this is going to be scary in a 7-game series. Not a closing 5, but like a 5 you can throw it out there in the game and you're going to have the spacing, the scoring, and the defense all in one.
No, yeah. I mean, they're deep, and they got a bunch of shooters. You know what I'm saying? And they got a bunch of shooters. DeAndre's a great. You know what I'm saying? He's a center that could. You know what I'm saying? If you don't got a good center, decent center, he's gonna mismatch you and be a problem all night. And CP3, like you said, he's a. You know what I'm saying? He's a vet. You know, he knows how to take control of these games, and you know what I'm saying. In the playoffs, like when it comes down to these playoffs, it's a different thing, and it's more of half courts than anything. You know what I'm saying? So he's him and that Devin Booker, and you know what they do? They run double screens, and that's something that's been working for them. Like we've seen it last season in playoffs, they did that a lot. I guess they don't use it during the season. I think they really don't. I've really noticed that they don't try to use their best plays during the season because that's their best play. They used to run it every single time.
They hold their money plays for the fourth quarter for sure. And like their go to in the fourth, they go to like you get whoever's really feeling it, Devin Booker or Chris Paul throughout the night. It's mostly Chris Paul that I feel is getting the ball late in the fourth quarter. You get him an ISO, DeAndre Ayton comes, sets the screen high, not even high, around the free throw line, around the mid range, and he just pulls up for the midi, and it's just money every single time. I feel like they get the ball into their stars' hands and they let them cook. That's how you win games. That's how you close games.
And like you said, they got switchable wings like Mikal and Crowder. They've been.
Cam Johnson's a good defender too.
Yeah, but like you're saying, Mikal, Crowder, these are guys we've seen
like elite level defense.
Yeah, like step up against these big guys like LeBron, Giannis, and they hold them down. Steph Curry, like Mikal Bridges could guard the guards. Crowder could guard the wings. I mean, they're both wings. They're tall. You know what I'm saying? They got length, so
they could guard multiple.
Yeah,
they could guard multiple people. Like you need 2 guys in your lineup that could you can just put them on the opposing team's player and like, he's gonna make him work for however much he's gonna get.
And JaVale McGee was probably their best pickup in the offseason. They needed a center, and to bring in a vet center, I mean, he's been good. Landry Shamet was also a good player. I mean, this team is a threat. Like when it comes down to a 5-game, you know what I'm saying, 7-game series in the playoffs, it's gonna be hard to beat them.
Yeah, they have a lot of shooters. Like they have more shooters than I expected them to have. Like Cam, Devin Booker's efficient from 3 this year. Jay Crowder, Chris Paul, Landry Shamet, Mikal Bridges, like they have just a lot of guys that can shoot the ball. Their spacing is always going to be straight. Like I don't feel like they're never going to have, outside of Ayton and JaVale McGee, they're not going to have multiple non-shooters on the court. But the JaVale McGee aspect is like, I was looking at their lineups. Where's the Phoenix Suns at? Their lineups this season, and a lot of their best lineups come with him on the court, JaVale McGee on the court.
No, yeah, I mean he gives him good minutes, man. He's a threat from the lob, right? You also gotta look at. I think he's an average defender. Like he could hold his own. He's a shot blocker.
Yeah, I feel like he's a good defender. I feel like he's good. He guards good in space. Like he's good when people try ISO him.
And I mean, look at him. He's been in the championship with the Warriors, with the Lakers. He's been in these contenders teams. You know, Olympics. I mean, he's been in these contenders teams. He knows what it is to be around a winning team, and just to have him around the locker room. And he's been like consistent all season. And Biombo, like honestly, he's been all right.
I think he's gonna stay. I think he's gonna.
Yeah, I think they're gonna give him the rest of the season. They already did though. They already did. I think.
Yeah, they signed him for the rest of the season.
Yeah,
which makes me think Jalen Smith is expendable.
They already said that he's done.
They didn't pick up his contract next season. I can see them trading. And what you think about this trade? Just hypothetically speaking, Jalen Smith for Thaddeus Young. Thaddeus Young's on the Spurs right now, rotten, not getting much burn. You send him to this team. They have a small ball five they could put out, a switchy defender, a good playmaker that will fit their system, and then you send a young big man to the Spurs that could play the 4 or the 5. Who shot good in college, who's going to be able to be a good defender at this level.
I mean, he showed like, I don't know. When I see him come in,
he played good. He
plays good when he comes in. I honestly like him. I'm kind of like surprised that they're not trying to give him a chance. But like, I get it though, because they're like, why we're even going to try to pick up a young cat? Because we have DeAndre.
Eventually, he's going to have to get paid too.
Yeah, exactly. So that makes no sense even trying to like sign him. That's what I got out of it, because they got DeAndre Ayton and they don't even know what to do with him. So just adding another young just into the situation, they could pick up he's a good valuable piece. You know, so I think he has value. I mean, he showed good minutes when he comes in, but
so this lineup. So for the starting lineup, CP3, D Book, Mikal Bridges, Jay Crowder, and then you swap out DeAndre Ayton and put JaVale McGee. This team is plus 126 per 100 possessions. They've already played 154 together. It's not a big sample size, but it's big enough. I think over 100. That's honestly enough for me to really see what I got to see for this lineup. And they just been like, these numbers are crazy with them on the court. And then Jalen Smith at the 5 with Cam Johnson at the 4. This is a great lineup because you can space. You have athleticism all over the court, length. Like this lineup is a plus 17 per 100 possessions. This is another good one. They have a lot of different lineups they could run out there.
Yeah, for sure. They're different. They're deep. Like you see, all these lineups they could run, and they've been all positive for them, and they got over almost 100 possession each. So
yeah, sure. Like they don't have and especially because they're the 1 seed, so they're not losing many games either. But none of their lineups are really like their top play lineups. All 6 of these over here that have over 100, even the one that has 96, are all positive. So they have a lot to work with. And playoff positive stats for me, they're top 2 in both offense, half-court offense and half-court defensive rating, which is big for the playoffs because you need to have half-court offense for you to survive when the game slows down. You're not going to be able to get it in transition. And then they're great at closing games, top 2 in clutch offense and clutch defensive rating. This is the final 5 minutes of a 5-point game. They get stops and they get their baskets where they want to get it. And then most importantly, they're able to play different styles of basketball. Slow, fast, high scoring, low scoring, grinded out game, a shootout. They could just do it all. They have the shooters, they have the defenders to grind out a game. They could close it out with you if you want to play it close the whole entire time. They could blow you out when their shots are falling and they're really clicking on defense. I think they have a lot of ways. This is probably out of the 4 teams that I did, this was the easiest one to do. Just because there's so many stats that I pulled up where I don't even got to think about it. This team is a contender easily. I guess like doing the deep dive, really looking at what this team has, what they're good at and shit. This is easily a top 2 team in NBA.
No, yeah, they're good, man. They've been good all season. They're shooting the ball good. I mean, they have a good coaching staff. They were not the defending champs, but they went there. You know what I'm saying? They went to the finals, right? Their team not
They
seeing.
defended Western champ, so that's something.
Yeah, and it was the first year together, so it just shows you where they're at, and you're seeing. You know what I'm saying? They're still showing the same team, the same type of team, same. You know what I'm saying? Systems. They've been good, honestly, and like you said, their half court and defensive ratings was the main thing you gotta take about because it comes down to the players all
Yeah,
half
out
court.
of everything that I've checked, like the research I did, these two stats really just popped out to me. For you to be top two in both half court offense and defense, and top two in both clutch offense and clutch defense, that's just like that's scary. Like that means they know how to execute, coming late down the stretch and in the half court. And that's the biggest problem. A lot of these teams struggle in the half court. You see over the last like 15 games, I'm pretty sure we're gonna get to this team next, but the Warriors, their offense is starting to decline over these last 15-ish games. Their defense has been winning in these games, but they need to start clicking again.
I'm not. It's just more because of Draymond. I'm not worried about that. It's not. It's nothing else. Literally, it's just because of Draymond. They're gonna be the
And
same
and
team. They
Steph
shoot,
is
and the
Steph is
shots are
having
not
a bad
falling.
stretch.
They're not falling. But you know, that's not. It's just a bad stretch. Just
I'm saying he's
because
having
of
a
the
bad
players, they're gonna
stretch.
be good. So what you gonna think he's gonna be bad for the rest of the season? No, he's
I
not.
never
Steph
said
Curry.
that. I never
I
said that
know.
their
That's what
offense
I'm
can't get
saying.
back up. Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
they
That's what I'm
need to
trying to
though.
say. That's what I'm saying. They're gonna be fine. They don't gotta worry about that.
All right, so go to the Warriors then.
So the Warriors. So I'm gonna start off with the lineups. I looked at this lineup and their best efficient lineup. It has doesn't have a lot of games. Only one game played. But I'm just
But
saying
don't
this
even don't
lineup.
even pull that lineup out,
Nah, I'm
bro.
gonna. Alright, then.
It's not even enough of a.
Alright, so they got 29 games played. They got Curry, Green, Wiggins, Looney, Poe's been their most lineup they have ran, and they shot 50% from the field goal, 38 from the 3-point line. They're a decent rebounding team. They get like 12, and then by assists, they get 8 assists a night. But I'm gonna just go with the overall stats. Points per game. They're number ranked 11, right? 110. It's all right. For opponents' points, they're ranked number one.
Yeah, I'm
They
about to say I
they
could put that
hold the
number
teams
one.
to the lowest, which is I'm saying shows how good their defense is. Then the fast break points, they're number five. They get 15 fast break points per game. So that just shows that their defense is there and they're making up out of their defense. They're getting points out of it. So, you know what I'm saying? Fast break points could actually win you games. You know what I'm saying? It's a close games. Those are the little details that make a difference in games. Uh, and the crazy thing, I didn't put no score margin for none of these teams because I didn't think it was gonna be like a huge thing to bring up. But like, they're the number one score margin, and they're like plus 8.6. That means they pretty much win every night by like 9 to 10, like 9 points. You know what I'm saying? They be you know what I'm saying they don't keep these games close. They've been kind of like you know what I'm saying blowing out these teams. They've been good. Then their points in paint is 15. It's nothing crazy. 45 and opponent fast break points they hold to they're ranked number 10. They don't give up a lot of free points. You know what I'm saying? At least for them to be in the top 10, that's decent. It's good. 10, 11 and a half points. Then points in the paint, which is the crazy thing. They are number two ranked. That means they hold their team to less. You know what I'm saying? That many, not that many. There's not that many teams that score in the paint on them. They hold them down to
I think
41.6.
the best thing is they do a great job of stopping people from getting to the paint. That's really they force you to take jump shots. That's
And
great
uh
defense.
huh, yeah, for sure. And they're number one ranked team in assists. That just shows you the amount of unselfishness, and it shows that, like we said last episode, Steph Curry's not an all star that has the ball in his hand. Dude, the Warriors don't even rely on him that much. You see, when he's having bad game, they go to other players. You know what I'm saying? They make their runs. You know what I'm saying? So
It feels like Wiggins
they're
isos more
number
than he does.
yeah, and if they hold opponent assists. It's not crazy, but they are number one ranked. They don't rank. I'm saying if they're not hitting down the shots, obviously they're. You know what I'm saying? It just shows they're number one ranked team. They don't average that much assists against them. But shooting stats, I mean, efficient field goal, they're 55. They're number ranked two right now. Free throw is still a huge thing for me. You know what I'm saying? You're playing good, shooting the ball good, but you're ranked number 25 in free throws, which I think it's you know what I'm saying it is a problem. But if they could just knock their free throws down, maybe it won't have these close games. You know what I'm saying? In the stretch in the playoffs, it does matter a lot. I just wanted to
You
bring that up because
who
number
are
25 is
yeah, but I said, do you know who the
background.
guys? I'm looking at their free throw percentages on the season, and it's you have Draymond shooting 59, Gary Payton shooting 59, Wiggins shooting 60, he's shooting about 70, Bielitsa shooting
Yeah,
69,
Toscano's not good at the line either.
yeah, Kevon
Not
Looney 61. Like a lot of these guys are shooting low field free throw percent.
yeah,
Clay's at 100. So I don't know how many he's taken so far.
yeah, and they're ranked number 7 3-point percentage, 36.1, which you have the two best shooters of all times on your team. So obviously, technically that number is number one. Come on. Like, but they are the number 7. That's like, what I'm saying, it's still good. It shows the offense is there. They do rely on their threes a lot. But like the biggest thing I got out of this was their 2-point percentage. They're number 2 in the NBA. It just shows that how they've been a threat. You know what I'm saying? They take advantages of Steph Curry's threat and Klay Thompson, maybe these screens, and they're good. Let me see, Draymond's a good off-ball screener, so they get a lot of mid-range going. You know what I'm saying? They got athletic guys who are good at going to the lane, like Gary Payne Jr., Andrew Wiggins. You know what I'm saying? Otto Porter, they're all physical guys, aren't scared to like go up. And Steph Curry, when he got the three going, you know what I'm saying? He's a great driver, which I think is I personally think they don't give him that much appreciation how good he's actually at scoring in the lane
Yeah,
and like
finishing at the rim.
drawing foul.
I think he's second to Kyrie Irving when it comes to
Kyrie, me
under the
too.
basket
I do
scoring,
too, for sure. I do. I feel that. I feel the same way
especially
about
for
that.
his position and his size. Like you could like there's other guys that are obviously more are gonna be better than him just because like a Kawhi Leonard or a Jimmy Butler, they get so big and so strong they get to the rim easily.
But
But
like the
for his
like,
size,
yeah, for sure. And what I get out of that is like, I'm saying most of these teams, there's a lot of teams that rely on the three. You know what I'm saying? And they are number 7. I'm saying number 2 then in 2-point, which you don't see that many good teams that could actually score in the paint. It's tough for a lot of teams. You know what I'm saying? But for them to be number 2, I think is really good because then it just shows how uh, efficient their offense is and how of a threat they could be. Obviously, they could be better, but I mean, shit. Shooting efficiency, they're at number 7 in the NBA percentage. So I mean, like the offense is there. You know what I'm saying? I'm not worried about that. Which their defense been their best thing. Like been better than their offense, which I
for
didn't
sure.
expect because first of all, they don't even have a center. Honestly, they don't have a center other than Kevon Looney, but he's not playing that much minute where he's not gonna close out a game. So he's getting a couple minutes, but opponent efficient field goal percentage, 49.7. Pretty much they're holding teams to 50% with this shoot. Number 1 in the NBA. Opponent 3-point percentage, 32.8. It shows how good they are outside and guarding the perimeter. How good they move their feet shows why the small lineup actually works. You know what I'm saying? They could switch off of mostly anything, and they've been good at hiding Steph Curry this year. And Steph Curry showed a lot of improvements in his defense this year. So he's been good, way better than when he was. Opponent 2-point percentage, they hold teams to 50%. Now ranked number 1 in the NBA. I think that's the biggest take on their defense is you're so good at holding these teams. You know what I'm saying? 50%, you're the best team to hold, you know what I'm saying? To score in the paint, technically, 2 points. It could be mid range 2 included, but if it's gonna be inside, most of the time it's gonna be in the paint. And it shows like their lineup, how of a threat they could be in the playoffs. I think is a big thing. Like having a small big lineup. I mean, it's always worked for them. Look at them, they're dynasties, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's like a huge thing. And an opponent shooting, they're ranked number 1. Teams shooting over like overall shooting wise, 42% a game. I mean, they're holding these teams like under 50%, which is huge. So their defense been their best thing, like out of the best thing this season. So I think definitely win new games. You know what I'm saying? We've seen it with Steph Curry shooting bad. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. They could win games. They could make runs without him too, because they don't rely too much on him. And he is a threat no matter what. If he's shooting bad, we seen him turn it up in one quarter and almost win a game this season so far against, you know what I'm saying, the Nuggets with Jokic. So and another thing I got is their offense and defense in quarters. I think it's a big thing because it shows like You know how it shows if the teams are, coming out good, or if they just can't close out games. So I'm gonna just start off with the offense for the Warriors. First quarter, the number 14. They dropped 28 points, which all right, it's a lot of points, but many teams go off in the first quarter. So for them to be ranked 14, it's then second quarter they're ranked number 21, 26.6. That means based off the first two quarters I just said, they're not a decent good team that starts off good. They kind of start off bad, saying? Take some time to get warmed up, feel comfortable, start seeing what these lineup defensive schemes are, and them to start reading that. But then when you go into the third and fourth, they're number three and both those, like ranked number three in the third quarter, dropping 29.1 points. That just shows like when they come out of halftime, they're not playing. These most teams, they start off slow in the third quarter just because you go into, your momentum, your rhythm. You go 15 minutes, you're not playing out there. I think that's an effect. And in the fourth quarter, their number ranked three, three for 20. So that just shows that they're good in the third quarter, and they're a threat. They're decent at closing out games. Steph Curry, I'm saying he could go off in the fourth quarter, so that's what's their thing. And then defensive wise, number 15 ranked in the first quarter, then ranked 10th in the second quarter, and then to close out the game, they're ranked number one in the third and fourth quarter, defensive wise. So that means they're holding these teams to not scoring pretty much nothing. They lock in when they have to. You know what I'm saying? So that's huge thing I got out of it. The defense, number one, on both the closing quarters. Then I put the rebounding numbers. I think defensive wise, defensive, like they're good. Like they're a good rebounding team. They're number two, 36.4. Which they're not a big team. They don't have a center that that's a great rebounder. So it shows how effective this small lineup's been. And then I'm gonna go with I had to put down their blocks. They're ranked number 12. They average like 5 blocks. It's decent. You don't have a shot blocker. Technically, you don't, other than Draymond. And he's not even that tall. He's, he is a great defender. He's known like his defense to be one of the greatest defenders by many people in the league. But they're ranked number two in steals too. So it just shows how good they are in defense, how good they can move their feet, the different type of lineups they could throw. Andrew Wiggins, Otto Porter's been good, Gary Payton Jr. Draymond's been good. They have different type of defensive lineups they could throw, and then their offense is ranked number 12. Could be better. Then defense is ranked
Ranked
number
number
one.
12. Where'd you see that ranked number 12? I thought their offense was higher than that.
Nah, it was. I seen it on the thing you showed me, the glass.
Oh, for the half court. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was
So
confused. I was like, ranked number 12, ain't that low?
so
But now,
yeah.
yeah, half court is different.
But I think it's gonna be Steph in the playoffs. I'm saying it's gonna be a big threat, so it might open a lot more gas because people are gonna be worried about him. So it could be a different thing in the playoffs. But yeah, for sure. They've been good, man. Honestly, I think what I got out of it, their off. Their defense been their best thing, and defense wasn't gonna win you games. I think in the freaking finals, in the playoffs. So in the playoffs is, I'm saying if you could defend, in half court, if you could get these teams to not score that many points and having teams shooting like 52, no 42. It's huge. They're definitely a team. I think they're gonna be. That's their main thing. They're defensive wise. And in a
Yeah.
half court, I think they're not gonna be a problem. They are number 12 right now, but Clay hasn't been playing. He just came back. He played 2 games. By the time the playoffs come, we got 20 something games left. Like 40 more, like 30 something more games left. I think. So yeah, we got like 30 something games left that he could play. Obviously, he's not gonna play all of them back to back. He misses. So I think he would be fine, be in game ready. I think the offense and half court wouldn't be a problem for them just because you have those two shooters and how much uh it could open for these players. And we've seen it all season. They're ranked number two inside 2 point percentage. You know what I'm saying? Just 2 points. So they're good inside. They could score in the mid range and get it to the lane. So yeah, that's how I feel about the Warriors. What do you think? What do you think about them? How
I
do you
think
feel
their
about that?
defense is what they're gonna hang their hat on, right? If or when they get to the finals, their defense is I think is gonna be the reason why they get there. And I just feel like they're gonna be able to muck up because I don't think their offense is they have a beautiful, free flowing, everybody touches the ball offense, yes, but they do commit a lot of turnovers. But that's I don't think it's a problem just because of how their style of play is gonna force you to commit more turnovers. But I love their
Yeah.
chances to come out of the West, like you said. With Clay being back, their offense should become better. You know, he's had a little bit of a slow start efficiency wise. He has to get into game shape and game speed. But I think by the time playoffs come around, he's gonna be fine. But I want to actually like X factor wise, who do you think? I think Wiggins is probably their biggest X factor because I think he
I
could
think,
possibly be their second best player this season.
yeah, I think it's him, and I'm not gonna lie, Otto Porter. I think Otto Porter
It's what they get out of their
because look,
wings.
I think what you're gonna run in the remember I said Bielisa before, and I was looking at their rosters and stuff, and I think now you know what I'm saying. I think their best lineup to run is like to close out the games. You're gonna go with Steph Clay, right? Andrew Wiggins, Otto Porter, and you close out with Draymond Green at the five.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think that's their best efficient lineup. You know what I'm saying just because Otto Porter's been so good from the three, and what I'm saying he's a great rebounder. The reason why I wanted to bring up um Otto Porter because he's been good. He's been like really good in the clutch too for them to score. And Draymond Green's been good, so I think that's their best lineup to run. I think that's their depth lineup.
I feel
So
you.
and it could
Yeah,
be a
for
big
sure.
threat just because it's so small. And then Otto Porter is big for his body. If you look at his bulky, he's good at
He's
his
big.
for his
He's way
size.
bigger than he was when he was
Yeah,
on
for
Washington.
sure, for
Do
sure.
you remember when he was on Washington? Imagine he was
Yeah,
shooting
he was
like
like a
this when he was over there.
stick. Oh man, with Bradley Beal and John Wall playing in his prime, man, it would have been scary. And he was
Yeah,
doing all right, I think. Just obviously wasn't, you know what I'm saying, it wasn't in his prime. And I think he's, you know what I'm saying, that confidence obviously helps him with
yeah. He got that big
being on.
contract. Has some
Yeah,
injuries. But nah, I really, yeah, they're like you said. I like their death lineup too. I think that's I will go the same exact way. Jordan Poole, I think he might be able to sneak in there depending on the matchup. I think some matches they could play, like because do you see these teams just go like a Clippers? They just go small as hell,
yeah.
right? They put Nicholas Batum at the five.
Hmm.
And I think you could do that too with you could sneak him in there, maybe switch him out for Otto Porter depending on the matchup. But I think those four guys got to be on the court at all times. And Otto Porter, 9 times out of 10, is probably going to get that spot.
Yeah.
But I think I like Jordan Poole's defense as well. I feel like he's been a good defender this season.
But like, I don't know. It's gonna. He's 6'3" if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah,
Six
he's
three, six
small.
five.
Clay's
So
defense has been solid too.
it is. It has been solid. But like, I don't know. I'd rather go. You know what I'm saying with the bigger lineup. Have Steph playing the two because because now you have Andrew Wiggins and it's gonna stretch out the court. Otto
It
Porter.
all depends on matchup to me.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, that's true.
if you go up against the Lakers and they have AD at the five with like the lineup they've been running is like AD at the five, Braun, Westbrook, and then they go like Wayne Ellington and another shooter.
Hmm.
Like I think like a lineup like that, you could put him on there
Yeah,
and
for
have you
sure.
could just have Andrew Wiggins guarding LeBron and having this guy guard AD, Draymond Green. Like
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
all dependent on matchup. Against a team like the Suns, Otto Porter's definitely got to get that assignment because of the length and the stuff that they have over there. And
No, yeah, for sure.
he will probably be the primary defender on Devin Booker, I'm guessing, because you want to put length on him. But
I
then
think I put
again,
in Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins got
oh yeah,
length
you
too.
right. I totally forgot about Andrew Wiggins. You're right. You put Andrew Wiggins on him. His defense has been.
Mhm.
He's just having like an amazing. I was so wrong about him.
Last two seasons.
Like I thought he was done. Like I was done like giving a fuck about Andrew Wiggins.
Uh huh.
But defensively, since he's gotten to the Warriors, has just been one of the best wing defenders in the NBA. And they
For
allow
sure.
him, and the way
And
they
he's
just let him,
efficient, man.
yeah, the way
He's
they let him play his game, like when he gets a mismatch, they feed him in the post. He's such a great post scorer. He has a turnaround fade, and he's strong enough to back you down and just put up a hook,
he's
which
been
I
their
like
most
when he does
efficient
that.
player this season. I think. If right now, if you look at number wise, I think he's their most efficient player. Like shooting wise, everything. Like
Yeah,
point wise.
Steph's having a down efficiency year this season.
Hmm. It's also because he is shooting. He shoots hella threes
Yeah,
too. So
he
so like,
takes a lot of difficult shots. Like
yeah,
obviously, you're not gonna be that efficient. Like
yeah.
Harden's been he's had inefficient seasons too, just most of these shooters.
Yeah,
He's
because he
gonna
shoots a lot. Yeah,
exactly like Paul George has been inefficient this season too, but they're getting difficult shots. You get what I'm saying? Especially with a
yeah, for
team like the
sure.
Warriors, because you're gonna want these other guys to beat you, but their other guys are just playing so well at this moment. So they're gonna try and lock it down, let the other guys beat them. And 9 times out of 10 this season, the other guys have beat the other teams. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like you got Jordan Poole, you got Andrew Wiggins just going off against these different units because Steph's getting most of the attention.
no, yeah, for
They
sure.
miss Draymond though. Once he comes back, you're gonna see this team take another surge
Yeah, for
because they
sure.
run so much through him.
Yeah, you see, it's not even that. It's the
And
leadership what he
defensively
brings out
too.
of you every night. You know what I'm saying? He's always talking to his teammates. You know what I'm saying? He's letting these guys know. You know what I'm saying? He's always talking. He's a, you know what I'm saying? He's a vet, man. You know what I'm saying? He
He's a
helps
leader.
these guys a lot. Yeah, for sure.
I think we could move on.
Yeah, we could go to the next team.
Yeah, I have my next team I had was the Utah Jazz. This was the hardest one I had to do. Like I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I'm gonna talk myself into them being a contender, but looking like doing a deep dive every day, I'm like, damn, bro, I don't even know. Like it was just like nothing really jumped out at me.
The same thing
First,
as last season, right or wrong? Same thing as everything. I don't know.
I think the Rudy Gay factor is different though, because they didn't have a guy like Rudy Gay on their team last year.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, depth is like depth. Depth is the only thing, but yeah, for sure.
Before I really get into their stats, the biggest thing I think I wrote this down. The biggest thing they got to do is Snyder just has to make adjustments throughout a playoff series. Like he has to be able to tell Rudy Gobert to play higher on these screens, or just don't play him at all. So I looked back at I was watching the last game for Clippers Jazz last season, right?
Clippers. Uh-huh.
It was the same thing every single possession. It was they had him guarding Terrence Mann, right? Because not Terrence Mann, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it was Terrence Mann.
Yeah, because he was the worst shooter on the floor.
Yeah.
He was the worst shooter on the floor for the Clippers. He had a great shooting game that game, so he lit them up. But the whole time, it was him playing in between the paint and in between the corner three. Somebody on the Jazz would get beat off the dribble. He would help, and it was a kick out every single time. And then if he defended the corner, it was lot of plays I seen. Yeah. I seen Paul George set a screen for Terrence Mann, and then he drifted out to the corner three. Then he got an open corner three.
Yeah, like an off-ball type of screen. It's like him faking a screen, but you know what I'm saying? He lets the defender slide through, and then
they force a lot of shots through the baseline. That's that was
for sure.
Ty Lue just straight out coached him. Like that was really all it is. Like he really just.
Hey, I'm not trying to be a hater. I always say this. I think that's why I just don't. It's hard for me to say he's the best defender because for me to be the best defender, you gotta like.
He's not the best defender though. He is a great. He's an impact.
I don't know why Depot. But for me, Depot, that's what it means. If you're the best defender, you could guard the best man on the court. That's what makes you the best defender.
But that's the case. Then the same guy will win every single year.
You know they wouldn't because you're not gonna get for you to be that good every year and be in that same type of level. And it shows you why you're the greatest player defensive. But every year you're not gonna get that. You know what I'm saying? Now Drew Holiday was last year. He didn't win. He is a contender, but you know what I'm saying? He's not the main contender right now. But I think Lonzo Ball will probably win it over him.
Lonzo Ball won it over Drew Holiday?
Not like he will probably get he has a higher chance of winning it over Drew.
I don't think either. I don't think this season. Yeah, I don't think he's been.
Drew hasn't even played.
I don't think either of them have a case for it though. I don't think either of them have a chance to even finish top five. If I'm being honest with you. Yeah, I get you. He's gonna make a first team all defense. So we're gonna get to Lonzo Ball when we get to the Bulls. He's definitely first team all defense for me this year. Maybe they might have two with Alex Caruso. I'm not gonna lie to you, but for the Rudy Gobert, the depoy shit, it's the analytics just sway his way so much. Like he always has the lowest defensive rating in the NBA. He always has like the highest differential when he's on the court, when he's off, when it comes to defensive rating as well. And he just defends every single shot that comes to the rim. And guys are scared to go up to certain guys. Certain guys aren't scared to go up to him. I mean, but like you see it most of the time, guys kick out because they don't want to get blocked. And Miles Turner is getting this kind of love too recently because teams are just not going up against him. Joel Embiid already has that factor. When you're just a big guy at the rim, the little guys are going to shy away. But I'm going to get into the stats a little bit. biggest thing for me that popped out when I'm really looking at it, they're number one in offensive rating by 4 points, that's a lot.
Yeah.
They've been the best offense this season. Hands down, they've just been on a symphony. Everybody touches the rock. They're hitting their
Just the
3-pointers.
amount of shooters they have, I think.
Yes.
Because that just opens up a lot. It just opens a lot. Having so many shooters on the court stretches out and stuff.
Exactly. If you want to be a contender, all these contenders got the same shit. They got multiple shooters.
Mm-hmm.
So 13th in defensive rating, which is the biggest surprise to me, because usually they're top 5 in this category, but this year they've been down defensively. I gotta look deeper to why.
Too much. It's because their system it's like they're relying so much on Gobert. So like that first step is just like it's really that's what it really is. Though.
Because they funnel
It's
everything. They funnel everything to Rudy Gobert, and they're too comfortable with it.
Exactly, it's too comfortable, and you're seeing it. You're seeing how much he was of a. You're seeing how much of a factor he was. He lost these 2 games against the Pistons, one of the worst teams. He shot the
Then
best.
he lost to the Pacers. Yeah,
the Pacers. Seeing these teams are shooting really good because you're relying on your center to pick up, right? And once once he picks up, there's an open shooter. So if you could be better on your on ball and off ball, that's what it really is. More of them being on off ball and being in front of their man and not losing that first step. And
yeah,
they could be better.
You could affect that with closeouts like last year. A lot of teams you could change the like how open these guys get with their if you do strong closeouts, right? Yeah. But the defense every time it collapses, it just forces another open 3. They need to just if they didn't have Rudy Gobert there, this team would look completely different.
But like I want to say is that that's it's like 13 is like bad, but like if we watch like every like the last couple of seasons, when they go to the playoffs, they're a physical team, like very physical team. So that I think could also help them in the playoffs. Maybe it could, you know what I'm saying, and they might let a couple more fouls go, you know what I'm saying, or more aggression, you know what I'm saying. In the playoffs, they let you play a little bit more, but I mean they got to be better. They just got to be better on defense.
Yeah, that's been their biggest. That's been their biggest question mark this season. And then when Hassan Whiteside's come in, he started off the season good, but he's just been so poor defensively this season.
Yeah, he had some dumb IQ plays that. Oh my god, it just bothers me. Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, but trust me, I know, bro.
Like,
he just has like these controller died moments.
Like he just like lost. Like he doesn't even know what he's doing on the court. Like that one play where he inbounds it, then he just stares at the guy to let him put it up.
He's like, my fault, and then the guy ran past him.
Exactly. So you really gonna try to block it? Like, but I mean, if you think about it, they really didn't have a second center rotation.
This is the best backup center they've had in a while.
Yeah, for sure. They I don't know. I think their favorite was better. It just didn't run him too much. I think he was more of a 4 when he was on the court. He wasn't like a center type. But I think, you know what I'm saying? They try to mimic getting someone to mimic Rudy Gobert, and Hassan Whiteside. I'm saying he's probably the best one that him or Dwight could have been. But
Dwight is a guy that could run that system. Yeah, you have to just.
I think it's gonna be hard for him to play in the playoffs. I think it's gonna be hard for him. Honestly,
I think come playoff time they gotta. I have to watch him more. Like I was watching their game last night. They played against the Nuggets, right? Great defensive game. I feel like that was one of their better defensive games as of recent. Well, it was Rudy Gobert's first game back too. They just seem more comfortable on the court when he's there, like guarding the ball and everything, because they know they have that safety.
They have more trust. They have more to rely. Yeah, exactly.
And they played. I think they had a great game defensively. And I gotta look at the numbers, but when they went to a lineup with Rudy Gay at center, it was only for a couple minutes, and it didn't look too bad. The offense is really clicking.
They do that a lot. I seen it with Jokic, man. I thought about that episode, but like he had a good game. Like him at the center could be scary because now you're stretching out the court. Yeah, maybe now you do give up a couple of points depending who's on the court because Jokic obviously is gonna torch him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it all depends on who. Like a team like when like
then on the other end, you have an opening 3 every single time because he's been so efficient from the 3.
Yeah, he's at 37% this season.
Yeah, and he's been so efficient. So, I mean, definitely, you know what I'm saying? They have some lineups that could be scary. I think that's him at the 5 has been probably the most efficient. You know what I'm saying? If you want to go small ball, they could go small ball. Honestly,
that's their best way to go small ball for sure.
Then you go what? Royce O'Neal, who else? Bojan.
So yeah,
Then you got Donovan Mitchell and Mike Conley, and then Rudy. No, Rudy wouldn't play because he would go small.
yeah,
That's five. I named five.
yeah. It would probably go. I think I have it written down. It will probably go Rudy. It will go Rudy Gay at the 5 with probably Mike Conley, Donovan Mitchell, Royce O'Neal, and Bogdan. Or
I
you could
see.
switch out. You could put Jordan Clarkson
Uh,
in that lineup too. For
I see what you know. What I seen. I seen the death lineup. The second one you got right now is Conley, Clarkson. But instead of Gobert in there, it's Gay at the 5. Then you put Ingles at the 4. Then you move. I think they was going. No, it wasn't that. It was Boyan and then Clarkson for Donovan Mitchell. That's what I seen, and they looked really good. I mean, every time, it was like every single play, it was just open mid range or it was open three
yeah,
because
it's a
how
5 out.
big of a threat.
Five
Yeah,
out offense.
yeah. How and Rudy Gay's been so good, man. Honestly, it was like probably their best pickup. Definitely, you know what I'm saying? They made a good ass pickup with him, picking him up. He's been giving him good minutes. He's in a good system. I think, you know what I'm saying? He's in a good system. He likes it
It's a
over
free
there.
flowing offense. No, you're not gonna
Yeah.
like. It's even surprising now how much Mitchell's averaging because it's just a free flowing offense. Everybody gets the ball. They have great ball movement. They just like nobody's just out there running 15, 20 pick and rolls a game.
And if you look at it, when he was playing with the Spurs, I think he was probably the second best option other than DeMar DeRozan at that
Yeah,
moment.
scoring
Because
wise, hell yeah, he used to
DeJounte Murray,
close
you know
out
what I'm saying?
games.
DeJounte Murray just hit a step up with scoring wise, you know what I'm saying? Because obviously he had to, but at that moment, you know what I'm saying? He was probably the second best scorer. And look at him now. You got a bunch of scores, so you see how efficient he's been. Because now he's taking more open shots. Got to rely on taking. He's you know what I'm saying. He's not that get a bucket type of guy. But they need him because they really got
I think
Donovan Mitchell.
he's a good bailout guy too. Like when it's late in the shot clock and the ball swings to him, he's able to hit an open three, and if it's a hard closeout, he's able to take that guy off the dribble and get to the basket.
No, yeah,
Like
for
you
sure.
need not only do you need shooters, but you need shooters that can attack a closeout. Like these guys that could the one pump fake and they could get to the rim.
Yeah,
Like
I
you
agree.
need
I
guys
agree.
like that. But I want to finish getting to their just overall stats. First in field goal percentage, sixth in 3-point percentage, and they're second in free throws attempted per game. So they draw some of the most fouls in the league. A lot of that is Donovan Mitchell. A lot of that is Rudy Gobert. But they just have a lot of guys that could get downhill too. I really like that. Mitchell and Gobert is an elite pick and roll threat with the scoring and the pull up shooting by Donovan Mitchell, and then the lob threat that Rudy Gobert
Rudy
is
Gobert
like
is.
teams collapse when he's rolling to the basket, and he's a good finisher. He's been the most efficient player this season, even though all his shots come at the rim, but he's at 71%, which is
Yeah,
like I think
I
that
think
might be one of the highest of all
his
time.
career. I was just gonna say that. I think this year, what you did get out of him, which I did have a problem last year. Man, if you're not defending, then he wasn't barely even scoring. But I think you see, he's averaging 15.6, his
He has
most right now.
15 and 15 right
Yeah,
now.
and
That's
how
nuts.
much he was? I bet you was averaging like 10, probably 12
He's
last
averaging
season.
14. He's been averaging
Uh,
15 for the last couple of
I feel like
seasons,
this year,
but he's having a better offensive season, I feel like, this year.
yeah, this season just looks more. I don't know. Yeah, like you said, it's probably just because he's more efficient.
Yeah, it's the most efficient he's been. He's at 71% field goal percentage.
Yeah, yeah,
He was at
he's having.
67. He's always at
Yeah,
69,
offensively, he's you know what I'm
66.
saying, like he's a lot threat just because Donovan Mitchell could shoot the mid range. He's been so good at shooting mid range. He's a good. I think he's a great shooting. He's a great shooter. Or like offense
Yeah,
game, he has
pull
a
up.
big
His
game
pull up
offensive.
is money. You
Yeah,
could because he's fast enough that if you drop on the screen, he could get to the basket, and he's a great shooter to
and
where
I
he
think
could
he's a
just
better. If anything, he's a better scorer than a shooter.
yeah.
Like
I would say that he
finishing
came
wise,
into the
like.
league as a scorer,
Mhm.
not a shooter.
I'm going based off more like tougher. It's more tougher shots inside. Honestly, he's small. You gotta attack these big. He's a guy that's like you said. He draws a lot of fouls. So he doesn't. He's a guy that's gonna attack the body of these other big centers and try to like score. And I mean, honestly, like that mid range game is what been really good for him because now if they play the mid range, really go Bears. You know what I'm saying? It's a it's a threat. 7 footer that could just. It's
He
gonna
could
be hard to
finish over. He
block
could
him.
finish over
Yeah.
anybody.
Yeah,
He's
for sure.
yeah, he's been yeah. That's that pick and roll threat. You come down playoff time, and not only Donovan Mitchell but Mike Conley too. Him and Rudy Gobert over the last season and a half have really gained this like tight chemistry. Where on the court, you put them with full bench units and they're running teams off the floor. Like they have such a great chemistry right now. More to their roster in general. I love how it's just the whole entire team is shooters outside of Rudy and Hassan Whiteside. So you're gonna have the dominant big man. Not I don't want to say dominant big. You're gonna have the big man presence down low that could protect the rim and finish around the rim, and then it's all shooters, 4 out every single time down the floor. Then the true point guard and Mike Conley, he could slow the game down. He could control the pace. He could get his own bucket. He could play make for others. Like that's
like
a
last season.
necessity.
Yeah, last season they were. I think if I'm not mistaken, they were probably the most.
They had the highest attempt minus too.
Yeah, 3 point. I think like 3 points. So they rely. You know what I'm saying? They rely on their shooting. You know what I'm saying? That's a team that's gonna shoot a lot. Does not matter. I was watching their game. Chris Snyder. You know what he said? He's like, I want these guys to shoot these contested shots. I don't. You know what I'm saying? We want that. You know what I'm saying? Because they have so much trust in those shooters, so they love to play like that. And this is why they're. You know what I'm saying? There's a team not to be to sleep on because they could make runs in seconds just shooting off threes.
Exactly.
They could get 13 that could get stops. You know what I'm saying? It's not a team like, damn, we don't have nobody. They do. You know what I'm saying? Just because, hey, Gobert's he is a shot blocker. You know what I'm saying? He's a big threat down there for many people. We've seen him many times. Guys are kind of scared to go up with him, so they do shoot and you know what I'm saying? They kind of like force these threes, but they just got to be better on not giving up open shots. That's it for them. But
yeah, because that's what I'm saying. Come playoff time, I think they're gonna be able to, like on some games, just run team off the court with their offense. Like their offense is that good. For real. Like he's been great.
Yeah, for sure. And like Joe Ingles, I think he's good. He's a good.
I think he's slowly declining, but he's such a smart player.
But yeah, but in the playoffs, you always see him saying in the playoffs he plays like better though. I feel like every single time, like, he just looks better in the playoffs. I mean, just because he's a vet, you know what I'm saying, and he has a lot to do. You know what I'm saying? He's a decent shooter, like over, you know what I'm saying, his career wise. He
was a great shooter last year. I don't know. I didn't really look at his percentage this year, but he gets guarded as a shooter.
But
that's what really matters.
The other thing, it's more of a playmaking when he got to play to add to playmaking.
He's a backup point guard.
Yeah, like playmaking wise, they don't gotta rely about nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? They got Mike Conley, then they go to him, who averages like 5 to 6, which is decent enough. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you always got a neat point guard coming off on the court or coming off the bench. So that's like they share with that. Those are smart players, and like you said, their depth they're one of the deepest teams in the NBA. All these teams that we're gonna talk about have crazy depth too. I've really noticed that. But Joe Ingles, Jordan Clarkson, Rudy Gay, Hassan Whiteside, Eric Paschall, and can they get anything out of Daniel House is a question too. Definitely come playoff time, because he might be able,
on that small ball.
He might be able to play a small ball 4 role, like depending on how he gets used. If his shots falling when he gets there, we'll see. I think he's a sneaky candidate to sneak into the rotation for sure.
PJ Tucker role.
Yeah, I think
he could be that PJ Tucker.
Yeah, I feel like he reminds me of like a PJ Tucker or Jay Crowder. He's not the same level of defender as them, but I think he could play the same role as those guys.
Yeah, like I'm saying, he's gonna play defense. He's gonna hit, stand in the corner, and he could be a threat from the. He could tackle
close out.
Yeah.
So their positives, their half court offense is. I guess I forgot to write it down, but I think their half court offense is number 1 in the NBA. Let me just make sure. On the spot. Yeah, they're the number 1 by 5 points per 100 possessions. The number 1 half court offense in the NBA. Like we said before, come playoff time, this is one of the most important things you need to translate to a winning basketball. Donovan Mitchell, hands down, one of the best closers in the NBA, could get a shot off against anybody. And best case scenario, for them to really make a run, they have to avoid Golden State at all costs. Because I think Phoenix is like they could make it a series. Like I don't think that Phoenix is just gonna run them off the court. But Golden State with Clay and with Steph and the shooters that they have, they're gonna kill them in a drop.
Torch them. Yeah, I think even with the Suns too, they gotta avoid them too, honestly. But hey,
I think the
only way they could avoid them, I think the only way they could avoid them is being number 1 seed. So
it depends. If the Warriors are the 1 seed, then they would have to see the Warriors in the conference finals.
The conference finals, yeah.
And
Yeah,
by then,
at
that
by
point,
then
then
you're
anything
saying,
could happen.
yeah, yeah.
Once you
But
get to the conference
I
finals,
mean,
anything could happen.
conference again, reaching to the conference finals. It's not like it's nothing. Like,
Yeah, that's
it's
a
a good
W.
thing.
I think it's a
It's a
W.
W for them. I mean, been a team that struggled to get out the first round last 2 3 seasons, last two in the playoffs. The only time was against
The Grizzlies
OKC.
last year too.
Oh, they did beat the Grizzlies.
I don't know. I
But
think they could be a tough matchup for the Grizzlies in a 7-game
yeah,
series though. Just because of the Rudy Gobert factor with John Morant. Because we seen last year he torched them. John Morant torched them. But if his jump shot's not falling in the 7-game series, then that would be the toughest thing. Because he could just drop and just play great defense at the rim. But we'll see. I think it's gonna be hard for them. Like this was the toughest for me. This was the toughest team for me to see them actually going out and winning the finals. But they have the makings of a team that can do it. But you could go next.
so
Hold on, actually one more thing.
Go ahead.
Who's the X factor for this team?
The X factor.
Rudy Gay?
I want to say him or I want to really say kind of Jordan Clarkson, just because when it comes down to these playoffs, you see like when you have a good team, like why the Warriors been so good is because they have always had a second unit that could score, and if they could have that guy to come out there and score, and then keep them in the game while you have your all stars out here, you know what I'm saying, not playing. I think Jordan Clarkson could be that guy because he's that type of guy who could get on fire and go for like 20, 25. So I think I'm gonna go with Jordan Clarkson.
Right for you. Yeah, I just got a picture. Somebody sent to me. It's Bobo out of dispensary, bro. And he looks high as hell.
You're lying.
And he has on Nuggets gear and everything, but he looks frying. I'm gonna send it to you. But he looks frying.
No way. That's
funny.
But
Jordan Clarkson is probably their X factor too, because and last year in the playoffs, I feel like he wasn't really a factor. Defensively,
no, he wasn't, but it's because he shot bad. But exactly. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have nothing off their second unit. That's what I'm saying. They need somebody out there. And if you watch these last teams that been won the championship, they always had that guy that, you know what I'm saying, keep them in the game, and that bench guy that always went crazy.
Yeah, every team needs one. Every good team, and they have him. And some nights it could be Rudy Gay, so like we never know.
Yeah, for sure. That's what I'm saying. It could be either one. I'm saying they definitely they're so deep. They're so deep. So they have numbers and the guys that can make a lot of changes and help them a lot. It gives them a lot of positives in the playoffs.
It's gonna be rare that like every single guy off their bench just has a bad night. Like they need with how good their starting five is, the level of talent, the shot making they have in their starting five, they just need at least one or two of them to pop off each night. And they're going to be in games.
Look, you got Boyan averaging 17, 19 points.
Efficiently. Yeah.
And he's been good too. Like you're saying, like all these guys could just go off. It doesn't, you know what I'm saying? One guy could play bad. Donovan Mitchell could play bad, but you got Jordan Clarkson go off. You got Mike Conley could go off. He's been good. He's shooting his best of his career. You know what I'm saying?
So, who will be good on his roster? Josh Richardson.
Josh Richardson?
Yes. I feel like he would be solid on this roster. You could play him at the 2 or the 3, a great defender.
Or like a small forward, yeah.
Yeah, like a 2 or a 3. He could play defender. And he's been shooting the ball crazy this season. He's having a really good year for Boston. I feel like underrated.
I haven't watched a lot of Boston game. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, he's having a good. I want to see his percentage, but he's having a. I feel like when I watched him play,
but I see him play a lot of
mid range. He's shooting 41% from.
I don't think he had a good game against us though, against Philly.
Yeah, that recent game he played bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember they was talking. I forgot who I was talking to about it, and they were saying that he ain't no Seth. He ain't no Seth Curry because they got traded for each other. And he's shooting 43% from the mid range. But that's enough about Jefferson. Go talk about the Grizzlies. Go ahead.
So for the Memphis, the best lineups. The most lineup played. It's only 12 games played, but it's because they're so deep and have so much, and they have. They do go through injuries in and out the lineup, but like Ja, Bane, Milton, you know what I'm saying, Jaren Jackson Jr. and Steven Adams. I'm going based off like the most efficient. Like I'm just giving you the best efficient.
Could you say the lineup
they had this season?
Say the line one more time.
Ja, Desmond Bane, Milton,
The Anthony Melton.
Yeah.
All right, so that's Desmond Bain
Jaren
at the
Jackson
three.
Jr.
All right,
Yeah.
all right, all right.
Then they have Jaren Jackson Jr. and Adams. I mean, this is their most played game, and out of the lineups, I think it's the most one they had. And they I mean they're a good team. You're seeing they average with that lineup they shoot 47% from the field goal and 40% from the three, which is alright. You know what I'm saying that could win you games, but their depth lineup, which I personally think that they could throw and they could be a problem for everybody, and they just beat you know what I'm saying the Warriors with this lineup going small. So this lineup could be a big threat. I would go with Ja, Desmond Bain, Zaire Williams, Jaren Jackson Jr. at the five, and I think I'm going with Brandon Clark.
You don't think Kyle Anderson?
Oh, I don't know. I'm going over Brandon Clark just because he's more of a bigger guy. I think he'll hold his own more, and he's a great rebounder. I just think that Kyle Anderson is. I don't think so. He needs a ball in his hand. You know what I'm saying?
I think so. I don't know.
And then
I think you could
Zaire
go either one.
Williams.
You could go either one. Or Dylan Brooks and you play Dyer Williams at the four, depending on the matchup. He's like 6'8". He's just
Yeah,
small. I
yeah,
guess
for
yeah,
sure.
it all depends on the matchup, but their real death lineup is just Jaren Jackson Jr. at the five, and then you put whoever else you want. As long
Yeah,
as Ja and Dylan Brooks is on the court, I mean Ja and Desmond Bain are on the court, you throw whatever two other guys you want out there.
and
That
like
lineup is
yeah,
good.
and they just be like one of those saying the best defensive team with that lineup, and they go based off of small lineups. You know what I'm saying? So I want to go with points per game. They're ranked number six. You know what I'm saying? They're a great offensive team. Fast
They've
break
been
points.
great
Where they're
offense this season.
yeah, fast break points, which is huge. Number one, 16 and a half. That means you know what I'm saying they're making up for these possessions they get these stats for, and they're scoring. You know what I'm saying? They're a fast paced team. Points in the paint, number one, which is
That's shout
crazy.
out to John Morant. That's
Crazy.
really who
Just
that
because,
is.
yeah, John, that exactly. It's because John Morant's been the third best points. I mean, he's a third. He's ranked number three best point player to score in the paint. You know what I'm saying? Which all of them are all centers. If you go look at the list, which shows like you know what I'm saying the type like how efficient he's been in the paint, like how good of a scorer he is. Then assists number nine. I think this is good. You have your fast break points number one and puts in the paint, and then assists number nine. I think it's been that just shows how unselfish they are. They're a bunch of young cats. You know what I'm saying? Trusting themselves. You look, they're not a team that have a lot of vets. You know what I'm saying? It's a bunch of young cats. You got Jared Cover, Zaire Williams, uh, Jones. You know what I'm saying? Desmond Bain, Ja. Like this is all young cats, but these are all coachable players. All coachable players. So they've been so good. Opponents for points, 108. Number ranked 15. It's all right. It's not good. You know what I'm saying? It's in the mid table. Fast break points, opponents. They give up a lot of, you know what I'm saying? They are the number one team, but they are ranked number 24 too. So that just shows they got to be better with taking care of the ball. Then opponents' points in the paint. I think they're ranked number 10 right now, 44.6. That's you know what I'm saying. It shows that they're all right. You know what I'm saying. They're saying they're a team that could hold their own. They got a shot blocker down there, which is Steven Adams. I mean, he's always been a great shot blocker, in my opinion.
Yeah, I feel like
Uh,
he's a good rim protector.
yeah,
Except for now what Russell Westbrook's brother said. Yo, that shit was so funny. He said my boy was he said he was a dominant big man. He averaged 18. He said he averaged at least 22 and 10.
nah, yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know. He be
they
hopping
pulled
on
up
them chats
Stephen.
talking crazy.
Yo, they pulled up Stephen out his stats, bro, and said it out loud. He's like, he never averaged more than 13 or something like that. And he was like, how about
Yeah.
this? How about this? Where y'all live at? And then he's got mad as hell.
Oh,
He just left. He left the thing.
uh, he left it.
Yeah, after
Damn.
that, he just left. He got mad as hell.
Nah, yeah.
Yo, that shit is funny. But go ahead.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Their shooting numbers is which surprised me when I was looking at them. You know what I'm saying? They're a great team. I mean, I think they're in the same step where the Warriors. Where I'm saying like they're better defensive team because shooting wise, they're not a great team. Efficient field goal percentage, they're number ranked 23. I just feel like if they could, you know what I'm saying, be better at these half courts. I think their half court that's not that good, honestly. But They just got to be better shooting it.
You know what helps it a lot is I'm pretty sure you're gonna get to it, but the rebounding, but they're number one in offensive rebounding, right?
Yeah, I had that. I
They
literally had that.
get a lot of extra possessions, and they force the most turnovers in the NBA. So
Yeah.
that's what's helped the offense a lot.
Word, you already threw the fact out, so like for sure, like you know what I'm saying that.
That's my second favorite team. I know this shit, bro.
Yeah,
I
and I
even
think
look it
another
up.
huge thing is they're number one in blocks and number one in steals.
They force the
Like
most turnovers in the NBA.
the most, they
Their
force the
defense
most
is aggressive.
turnovers, and exactly because they're aggressive. I think that's what I get out of it is they're a great physical team, aggressive, and and if you look at the lineup, they're unselfish. Like I said, they're ranked number 9. So having John Moran playing at an MVP level, I'm seeing him just scoring in the paint, being a threat in the paint. Already has all these guys bunching in, just trying to stop him, and he's so explosive. And him being that type of guy, he's an unselfish guy coming into the He's a guy who's been average what 7 to 8 assists a game. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a great. I think he's a great playmaker too. Like he could get these guys open, and that's what's been the big thing.
I
But
think he just became a better scorer than he was a playmaker this season.
you think so? I think he was
I
always a
think
great scorer.
I'm saying no. I think he was a better playmaker than he was a scorer his first 2 seasons. Like he's I feel like he's been a great playmaker since he got into the NBA. But I think this season is where his scoring took the leap ahead. Yeah, what, like 25 a game? He was
Yeah,
at like
he is.
I don't think he broke 20 last year.
Nah, he was 19. He was at 19 last year.
And he was inefficient.
Yeah.
But now he's having a great season.
I think it's just more Steven Adams too. His picks are so good. I think he's one. I was saying this.
He
Like,
just
he's such
impacts
a great.
winning.
Yeah, I like him a lot.
Me
I
too.
mean, this team, I think it's more of their confidence more than anything, and then with the energy they bring every night, because they're so young and these guys are out there playing out with their hearts. You know what I'm saying? They have always been a team that's been like even the last couple of seasons, their score margin there was like negative, like you know what I'm saying, two. It was like 1 or 2. It was like right
They're
there.
like an
They're
even
barely
team.
losing.
They're like
Yeah,
an even
they're
team.
barely losing. They just lose close games. The difference this year is that they're winning these close games. You know what I'm saying? They're winning these close games. John Morant's, I mean, they're playing like vets. He knows how to take control of the game. That's what it really is. When it comes down to like the third and fourth, they're ranked number 11. Like you look like I'm gonna tell you the offensive quarter in all 4 quarters. First quarter, they're number 8. That means they start off the game really well. Second quarter, they're number 4. Number Third quarter, they're number 11. Fourth quarter, number 11. What does that tell you? That they're a team that keep the gas in the pedal, a team that never slows down, a team that never, you know what I'm saying, is lose focus. They're always in the game. They're playing, you know what I'm saying? It just shows every single quarter they're playing good. That's gonna win you games. If you're scoring, and then on the other end, on defense, they're all right. You know what I'm saying? Number 17, first quarter, 12, second, 8, 18 in the third, and then number 14 in the fourth. It just shows you that the offense is like so good and effective. They've been so efficient all season. They're a half court. They're ranked number 8. It just shows how efficient they are. You know what I'm saying? They're a team that's not gonna slow the pedal. And like I said, I think John Moran's their biggest factor. Obviously, he's playing at an MVP level, and the confidence he's bringing these guys.
He's
It's
been
just
a great closer this
and
season
then
too. Better
defense
than
number
MVP.
11. Number 11, like I said, they're ranked number 1 in block and steals. So that just shows you they're offensively like opponent offense rebound. They're ranked number 12. You know what I'm saying? They average 14 offensive rebound shows. You know what I'm saying? If they're shooting the ball good, you know what I'm saying? And then now they're getting points off the paint, ranked number 1, and then you're ranked on fast break points number 1. And then offensive rebounds are free points. You know what I'm saying? Free possessions, extra possessions for them. So they just been so efficient. They make sure to take advantage of all these easy points, and that's why they've been winning games because these close games, the small details matters. You hear me?
Yeah, I hear
Or
you.
I thought I cut
Yeah, I
out.
hear.
No, I thought I cut out because it froze. I ain't gonna lie, but like that's I think the small details what matters, and it's just their defense. They're ranked number 11 half court, so it just shows it shows you right there. And then turnovers, they're ranked number 11. It's you know what I'm saying they're halfway there through the in the middle of the table. You know what I'm saying they're not giving up that many turnovers. It shows like you know what I'm saying how good Ja's been with the ball. Honestly, you know what I'm saying him
He's
just
been
attacking
great.
the rim.
In
Yeah,
the
like
fourth
him.
quarters, he's closed out so many games for them this season.
Like look at the he's so good at controlling his pace. And you can see the difference between why he's a better player than Russell Westbrook. They're the same type of play style if you really think about it. Same type, they're aggressive, physical, their acceleration is there. Obviously, Ja shoots way better, but like they're
He's a better
fast paced.
finisher at the rim
He doesn't
too.
give up. Yeah, for sure.
Ja's already a better finisher at the rim than him.
And you know what I'm saying? He just the turnovers is not giving up two turnovers. I think their main thing is how good they're taking care of the ball. And how good how good they're at playing a half court and their depth. I think depth is more than anything. Like I said, Desmond Bane's been playing a good season. I think he's a candidate for most improved, if anything. Like if you look, I don't know if his number wise,
Yeah,
but
for
like
sure. Him and John Moran are both candidates for that.
so like yeah, like he's playing really good. And like you said, look at their wingers. You got Kyle Anderson, Jaren Jackson Jr. who could play that, Brandon Clark, Zaire Williams. That's already four guys right there in the lineup that you know what I'm saying you could just be switching on and off. So I mean, and they're a great home team.
Yeah.
Now, honestly, they're a great
I think you
team.
forgot to
You
name a couple
called it
guys.
right before the season.
You forgot to name a couple guys. You talking about their wings?
Yeah, Jones. Yeah,
No,
Tyson
you have
Jones.
nah for wings.
Melton's been good.
I'm saying Kyle Anderson, Desmond Bain, Dylan Brooks, Zaire Williams, Aldama, and Conchar's been playing good for them this season
Yeah,
too.
Contra's
They
been
just
good. Yeah,
go they go like 12 deep.
yeah. It's just they have a bunch of defenders. That's what it really is. And like I said, if you look at like, yo, their numbers are not that good. Their number ranked 23 efficiency field goal.
It's
Then the
this
3 point, they're ranked number 21. Then 2 point percentage, they're ranked number 21. Shooting percentage field goal, like
yeah,
shooting percentage overall, they're ranked number 18 in the league. It just shows you that they're taking advantage of these easy free points and offensive rebounds, extra possessions. It just shows the vet. That just shows. I honestly, it shows how good they know how to read the game. Honestly, because you're saying you're taking advantage of these points. And like I said, in all the quarters offensively, they don't push their foot off the gas. Do you know what I'm saying? Number ranked 8, 4, 11, 11. It shows how efficient they are during the whole game, how focused they are. That's what it really is. Because they're not a great offensive team. Defensive wise, it makes it up.
I think I think the biggest thing that makes up for their offense is like you said, they get more possessions than other teams every single night. Like because they're forcing turnovers and their offensive rebounding the shit out of the basketball. I think they're number one rebounding in all, so they don't fuck up with that. Like they're gonna win the rebounding battle more times than not. And it's just because of the athletes they have. And Steven Adams boxing out everybody.
And look, they're still not shooting good, and they're still a number 8 half court team. So just put that in your head. This team is a fucking problem in the
Jaren Jackson Jr. gets
series.
to like 37 or 36%, the league is in trouble.
Because they don't give up a lot of free points. That's what it really is. Number ranked in fast break points, points in the paint number 10, and then turnovers they're ranked number 11. You know what I'm saying? They're mid table. You know what I'm saying? They're a team that gives up too much. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it really is. I mean, and their coaching staff, you got to give that applause. Like,
yeah, Taylor Jenkins
they've been so good, man.
I had him coach of the year before the season. I don't think he's gonna get it, but I think he's in the conversation. At least a top 5 candidate for it.
For sure. I mean,
there's so many coaches that can get it this season.
Yeah.
Like JB Bickerstaff is probably a league candidate because of what he's doing with the Cavs. But
yeah, I was just gonna say
we need to have a coach of the year episode soon too.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we'll do All-Star vote halfway through. We could add that, or we could do a halfway through the season awards too.
Yeah,
a couple episodes.
It was the last thing we could do. But yeah, Grizzlies. Yeah, I wanted them, but you picked them before me. This is one of my favorite teams in NBA. Watching them almost every single game. Like they're probably the most fun team to watch right now at this moment in the NBA with how fast they play. And John Morant could do something crazy on any given night.
But they're so good at controlling the pace. Look at that. You know what I'm saying? The whole game they go good, fast, and then they're so good at the half court because of how good of a threat they are with the pick and roll with Steven Adams. Or you go with the 2-man pick and roll with guards, which we're seeing a lot more now because Desmond Bain is a big guy. So they just pick and roll threat. It's a problem because you go with Jaren Jackson Jr. Like, you know what I'm saying? All these guys I'm naming. There's a bunch. Zaire Williams is a great shooter. He's been efficient as hell and just he's been better in the starting lineup, honestly.
Is that your Williams?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been great. He's been really good as of recent. And then their bench unit with Tyus Jones and Brandon Clark and Kyle Anderson, those guys come on the court and they come on the court and just muck things up.
Yeah.
They just fuck shit up.
Tyus
And
Jones.
they have
Yeah, Jones keeps their offense going, flowing when
he had
John
a
Morant's
great
out.
game against the Warriors, but they have some big wins this season.
Yeah, for sure.
Like they have 2 wins over the Warriors. They have multiple wins over the Nuggets. They have a win over Miami, a win over the Jazz, wins over the Nets, the Mavericks,
They just beat the
Lakers,
franchise record too, so it's
Sixers.
definitely
Yes,
they're on their way to being probably right now. They're probably the best team Memphis has had.
yeah. I
To be
think
honest,
in a
they're
while
showing it.
since the grit and grind. This
Obviously,
team,
yeah. I was just gonna
it's
say that
too
Mike
early.
Conley and
Yeah, it's
Marcus
too
Rose,
early
yeah,
for me to say
because
they're
they
better
went
than
to.
that team.
But like, I mean, this team's gonna be together for a while. Roster wise and
I don't know
contract
how
wise, I
long
think
because
we got a year or two. I mean,
multiple guys
contract
got to
wise,
get paid. Multiple guys got to
Jaren
get paid on
Jackson,
this roster.
but they haven't paid nobody else, honestly.
But I'm saying, but
And
eventually they're
Ja,
gonna have to.
mm,
Jaron Jackson Jr. got their money. I think Dylan Brooks is the next one to get an extension. If he hasn't gotten it already, I have to look at it. Desmond Bane is gonna get paid. Depending on what they do with Kyle Anderson and Brandon Clark's he's gonna get a decent amount.
yeah.
So
I
they're
mean,
gonna have
that's what I'm saying.
contracts
They
lining
got
up.
their contract is kind of. I don't know. I don't know exactly how their contract is, but they probably do have like a year or two, just based off because you guys had Williams too on a rookie contract. Since Ja just got out of it. What's
Him
this
and
guy
Desmond
name?
Bain being on the rookie deals and the production they've
Yeah,
given them this season has been a big part.
yeah, for sure.
And then you have this guy Tyus Jones on a mid-level exception. He's balling out at like $9 million a year.
Nah, yeah, they're good for sure. Their teams not to be careful in a 7-game series for
Yeah.
sure.
Who's the X factor for this team in the
The
playoffs?
X factor for this team, obviously, like I think it's Jaren Jackson Jr. because it's really honestly on him.
I think
He
it's
could be
Dylan Brooks
effective. You think it's Dylan Brooks?
because we haven't seen him a lot this season, and they've
But
been
I think it's
winning.
gonna be
But
Are
Dylan,
you gonna start him over? Wait, like
I think I
you could
think he
start
could
him
come
because you
off.
have Bane at the 3. But
They
like I think
played.
it's better for him to be coming off the bench.
They start both of them together, if I'm not mistaken. Like when
Yeah,
they're
they
fully
do.
healthy.
I think they do because like you said, they Bane is a 6'6", 6'7" guy. Physical, he's big. He's you know what I'm saying, he could hold his own body wise. He could guard small forwards.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm guessing
But
they could go like that. Like this, they're about 73 minutes playing. They're a plus 15 per 100 possessions. But this 5 on the court with Bane, Brooks, Jaren Jackson Jr., John Morant, Steven Adams. Yeah, I think he's their X factor just because of how well he played last year in the playoffs too. Like
yeah, I mean,
he
he
averaged
averaged
like
25.
25. Yeah,
Yeah,
he balled out
they
in the
were.
playoffs last year.
Oh yeah,
I
for
think we can move
sure.
on to the Eastern Conference. All right, I'll go first. The defending champs, the Milwaukee Bucks. 9th offensive rating, 7th defensive rating. They're the defending champs, so you gotta play in their respect. Like they got their battle
Sure.
tested already. They're I think they're probably the best defensive trio in the NBA with um Giannis. They're just losing
Yeah,
my
I mean,
coming off my mind. Giannis, Drew, and Middleton.
hell yeah, there's
Possibly the
nobody
best
that have
bench.
that
It's
many.
close.
Yeah, that man of like how
Defensive
effective they are on
versatility.
defense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then you put in Brook Lopez when he's healthy back there, and they're one of the best defensive teams in the league. There's that's their biggest upside for me. And then the endless amount of shooters they got around Giannis, like every single guy on his team, because even Brook and Bobby Portis could both whenever Brook gets healthy, but both of them could shoot. Chris Middleton, Drew
even
Holiday,
Mamu. I
Pat,
mean, he's not good, but he could let it go. You know what I'm saying?
he's
He could let it
he's
go.
a rookie. He's gonna
Grayson Allen's been good. I think
yeah,
that's their
Grayson Allen, Pat Connaughton's been great this season. Wesley Matthews has been great. Jordan Nwora has been great.
great
They have
pickups.
yeah, the shooting on that team is like endless. The defense, like we said, that's probably their biggest thing. They're 7th in defensive rating right now, and they haven't been healthy, which is scary.
Yeah,
And yeah, I think offensively is probably gonna be their biggest struggle in a half court setting because they did great last season in a half court, but I don't know. It's the 3 just has to fall because they have
yeah.
so many guys that are shooters. But Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday, Chris is having a down season, but Drew's been great. He's been one of the most efficient isolating scorers this season. I was looking at it, I forgot which number he was at, but he's getting like over a point per possession on ISOs. He's been great. He's shooting the ball really good this year too, and defensively he's always been there. Death lineup. To me, I think they're closing with this in the playoffs. Drew, Wesley Matthews, Pat Connaughton with Chris and Giannis at the 4 and the 5. I think this is the lineup they go to when the going gets tough, when they need to stop, when they need to score.
Yeah, for sure. Look at the amount of defenders you have on. Like,
Drew,
Pat is your worst
5.
one. And Pat's not even a Pat. Exactly.
He's a good defender.
He's a physical guy, fights through screens. Wesley Matthews, man, he shows up in these big games. He's always been a great defender, great shooter. Nah, that's definitely their best depth lineup that you got to go with. Like, just the amount of defense, and you still got shooting on the court. You know, so you don't see that a lot. Where
it's 4 out with Giannis.
Yeah, exactly.
And Giannis is the point guard in this lineup.
And Giannis showed way more improvement shooting this season than when he was last year. I think he's a way better shooter. He looks more comfortable with it. His release looks different. It's, you know what I'm saying? It's smoother. And if you notice, when he releases, it's a soft touch. It's a softer touch. It looks way
not
better.
Just beaming it at the backboard.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, for sure. If you look at this, they're scary, man. Just like I said, Giannis was playing like Budenholzer, showing him playing at the 5, which he shouldn't have been doing for a minute, but he actually finally did it last season in the playoffs. And they're the defending champs. They won them a championship. You know what I'm saying? So this team, they're defending champs. Don't sleep on them. They haven't been healthy all season. Honestly, if I had to go with the East right now, like based off right now, they're probably the best option right now. I would personally pick them.
I think they're the favorites. I think they're the favorites to go to the finals.
Yeah, to the finals.
They're probably the most complete. Yeah. Probably the most complete team in the Eastern Conference. And they have, I think, the best player in the NBA with Giannis. Like, as long as you have Giannis on the court, you're going to be a contender no matter what. Both sides of the ball, the pressure he puts on the rim, the playmaking improvement he's had year by year. Like, he's really a point center out there. They played him at point guard recently. I think I forgot. I put it on Twitter recently. They literally started him at point guard. Yeah. So he could play not any position on the court, but he damn near could. He's just not a shooter.
He can. Yes, he can. He literally can, bro. He moves like a guard. Nobody has the amount of speed that he does in acceleration.
Yeah, in the open court, he's ridiculous. Like, his improvement scoring in the half court is just like, he's just so good, bro. The best. He's the best. Like, he's the most improved player of all time. Like, no lie.
Rebounding wise, it doesn't matter what center it is.
And Bobby Portis is coming into the game.
Oh man, that's their X factor. Honestly, I think that's their X factor. I would go with him as an X factor. He's been so good all season. Look at these big games. Look at all these big games he's played. He's been showing out in all these big games, and they win these games just because he could shoot. He comes off the bench and gives these rebounding. Yeah, he's a great rebounder. You put him at the 4 next to Giannis. I'm saying Giannis is boxing out these centers, so it gives him leverage for him to come in and grab them rebounds. You know what I'm saying? And he's been so good, and he's a threat from the 3. If I'm not mistaken, he's shooting really well from the 3. I mean, he's been good. The games I watch, he shoots really well. And Grayson Island too, like you said, they have endless amount of shooters on the fucking court. Like, it's ridiculous. And Giannis, you know what I'm saying? He gets double team every single time he's a guard out there. So, yeah, this team is scary for sure.
I think, it probably Bobby Portis probably is. Chris Middleton's got to be on there too, because if he's had a down season. I don't know if it's because of the no break because he went to the Olympics, but he just hasn't been the same Chris Middleton. He has these games where he pops off, goes for like 27 on 60% true shooting and shit. Like, he has these games, but if he matches the performance he had last year, I see no reason why this team can't go to the finals.
No, yeah, for sure. I mean, if you think about it, I think halfway through the season, his numbers are alright. I think his numbers would improve way much more in the playoffs. So, you know what I'm saying? He just won a championship. So,
yeah. See, this is his. No, it's not his career low. It is. This is his worst shooting year since his rookie year. Since the second year in the NBA, he's been like above 45%. He's at 43 right now.
He's taking more. If you think about it, he's taking 1 more attempt in 3-point
shooting. Yeah.
He's taking more 3 this year because he's shooting one more technically. And if you really think about it, look, he's shooting at 41 last year with 5. He's shooting this year at 38 with 6. It's
Yeah,
like,
3-point shooting hasn't dropped. It's
yeah,
he was at
it's just an attempt.
47 and now he's at 43.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just I think he just needed what I seen personally from the games I seen. I think he just got to be better in the clutch or go to Giannis. I don't know why if he's missing shots like I see him take stupid shots in the clutch, especially against the Hornets game. But
yeah.
I don't know.
He's been the most efficient player in the clutch this season. No, because
Yeah,
all his shots come at the rim, but still, like he's been
exactly, and they're gonna foul him too.
and he's been shooting the free throws not too bad.
Yeah, but like
You
their
could.
bench unit, Jordan Wood and
Oh, yeah, I have more stats. I totally forgot.
Yeah,
But yeah,
with Jared Allen, they've been Grayson Allen, they've been freaking,
yeah, and the
they've been a
Warriors
problem.
been he depended on how big of a leap he could take from here to the end of the season, how more comfortable he could get. He's a candidate to close some games over Pat Connaughton, but
Yeah, for sure.
probably not because Giannis left him some Pat Connaughton. I feel like that's like his favorite guy on the team, no cut.
No, yeah,
But positives going into the playoffs, the small ball, big ball versatility on this team. You could play Giannis at the 4 or at the 5, and either way is big because he's Giannis. Like,
yeah.
and you play him and Bobby Portis, and that's their big ball lineup with Brook Lopez out right now. But I like the versatility with that elite half court offense. Well, efficient. I could have sworn I wrote these down, but they've been great in the half court this season as well. Okay, I don't even know where it's at. But yeah, and they've been there, done that. Like you can't doubt this team going into a playoff series because they won it last year. They fought through adversity, went down 0-2 in multiple series. Like
I'm gonna be honest. Like you know what I'm saying. They lost PJ Tucker. They lost a couple of them. Saying they didn't lose too much, but I thought PJ Tucker was like gonna be a big factor. And looking at them now, like damn, they look good, man. They look like the same team.
I think that's gonna be
in the same step.
if
In the
you
playoffs, you think it's gonna be a problem?
yeah, I think if I'm not saying it's going to be, but if it were to be a problem, it's not going to show up to the playoffs. I think Wesley Matthews could fulfill that role that PJ Tucker filled for them last year. Somewhat, just because PJ Tucker's a little taller than him, he's a better rebounder. He was offensive rebounding great last season for them in the playoffs, but his shot just wasn't falling whatsoever for them. So yeah, he was shooting. I've seen the stat. He was shooting 33% from 3 last season, or 32 for the Bucks, and he's shooting 47% this year.
That's crazy. 12%.
Yeah, that's nuts. That's the shot doctor. But yeah,
because he's the best. He's the best corner shooter in the league right now.
Yeah, he was at 31% with the Bucks. Oh no, 39% with the Bucks. It must have been in the playoffs then. Or for the season, he finished at 33, and right now he's at 47. 47 is nuts. This is the best season of his career, probably.
Yeah, and he takes mad he shoots them too. It's not he's shooting them. He
takes like 3 a game. That's good enough though, with the shit that he's bringing in on defense.
Yeah, for sure.
Tuck Wagon. You see the nickname? Who calls him that? Nah, but yeah, this team is scary coming into the playoffs though. I don't think anybody wants to see them in a 7-game series. I think who you want to go with next?
I'm gonna go with Brooklyn. We'll go with Brooklyn. I think I'm gonna. These are the two most gameplays together. The lineups they have right here, that I'm about to name: James Harden, Patty Mills, Claxton, KD. No, that's the best lineup they could go with. Honest, that's the def lineup I think that's their best lineup they could go with.
Kyrie.
I don't know if I'm gonna put Kyrie. Why? If you're not playing home games.
If he's playing, who's spot?
Yeah, if he's playing, obviously Patty Mills, obviously.
And you have Joe Harris too.
Yeah, I have Joe Harris. Yeah, their most efficient. It's obviously Joe Harris. It's been Joe Harris, Patty Mills, KD, Claxton, and Aldridge because obviously they have the most minutes played this season. But like, I don't know. I think they're most efficient though. Like most efficient, like overall. Like Aldridge, KD, Harden, Patty Mills, and Bembry's been their most efficient. Field goal percentage, they're shooting at 66. Then 3-point, they're shooting 37 from the 3-point line. Rebound, they're not. The only thing that sucks with this lineup, they're not. This lineup's too small for rebounding. They average 5 rebounds this lineup, which is bad. A quarter, it's bad. And an
Mhm.
assist is bad. So that just shows you that they rely too much on ISO. So if that's like one of their most efficient, it's like it just shows you like they rely too much on the ISO game. But I'm gonna go down with their overall stats. Their points per game, their number ranked 4 in the league. Fast break points ranked number 6. Assists, surprisingly, this was surprising. Number 6. I it was just crazy just because they're playing. You know what I'm saying, I don't know. Just James Harden. I mean, it just shows that James Harden's been just playmaking, but I don't know. I was surprised. I didn't expect them to be that high for that many scores. Points in paint though, they're number ranked 13. They're, you see, if you go based off this, they're alright. You know what I'm saying? That means they're scoring off. You know what I'm saying, the fast break points is, I think means a lot because those are free points. I count those. I think it's a big thing to look at because you know what I'm saying. Small details make a difference in games. You know what I'm
I
saying?
don't think fast break points matters when you get to the playoffs. So
I mean, if you're getting stops,
'cause
there's some things.
I think the game slows down a lot when you get to the playoffs.
Yeah, but if I mean, if it's they're good, if it shows they're a small. I mean, yeah, you're right. It For them it kind of sucks because you know what I'm saying. Like for the Warriors, fast break points they're number 2, and then number on defense they're number 1. So
Yeah,
like it shows
and
why. You know what I'm saying? It shows why they're good. For the Nets, it really kind of sucks because they're ranked number 6, but then when on fast break points, they're fucking ranked number 28 opponent. Then they're ranked number 28. They're the
they give
worst
up
team.
a
They
lot
give up
of
too many free points. Too
yeah.
many free points.
The
So
Warriors, you could account a lot of their fast break points too, because I don't think it's really the players that they have that are pushing the pace. I feel like all their forced turnovers are live ball turnovers.
yeah, that's what
Like
I'm
it's a
saying.
lot of
There's
deflections and a
huh.
lot of balls going up the
Yeah,
court, and then you have Andrew Wiggins and you have Jordan Poole and you have Gary Payton that just they could push the pace when it's a live ball turnovers like that.
yeah.
Because they're mostly a slow down offense, I think.
No, yeah, I think that too.
When
I
James
believe that
Harden's on
too.
the court for the Nets, I think it's the same thing. I feel like that was the biggest difference you noticed when Kyrie got there. Their game sped up, their offense sped up when he got there. I haven't looked at the numbers if the pace is different or none of that. But
Hmm.
just off the eye test, I feel like that was the
Yeah,
biggest difference. Because when Harden's on the court, I feel like they play a little slow.
yeah. Because James Harden's a half court player. Think about it. He's a
He
guy.
is.
He plays a lot with screens, and the 2-man game with him and Aldridge and KD.
And
It's
him
just like
and
yes, he could go either
Claxton
one. And Claxton too, who's
and
uses a lob threat.
Dayron Sharp has been good for them these last couple of games. I
Yeah,
don't know if you've been watching, but
yeah. I've been watching.
he's making a case. He's making a case to
Yeah,
be in the rotation because he's been good
yeah, because
defensively.
he's taking kind of Clarkson kind of minutes now. You know what I'm saying? He has more. Him and Clarkson kind of like split it. It's like right there. You know what I'm saying?
He
Kind of.
started the last game, but I think Claxton was injured.
Yeah.
But he's
But
been
I want to
good.
go to like shooting stats. I think this is their best thing. I mean, look, you see this lineup. They got 3 of the like best. What's up? You cut out?
No, I didn't say nothing. I didn't say nothing. Hello? I think we're getting technical difficulties. Is he in here still? Damn, this is so unprofessional. Yeah.
The thing is,
Okay,
oh,
okay.
it was me then.
Nah, it's good. It's good. I don't know what it was, but go ahead.
Yeah, it was glitching. My fault,
Yeah.
listeners. But like what you're gonna get from this is like their offense is like their numbers right there. They show it. Like I'm gonna go with shooting stats. Efficiency, field goal, they're ranked number 9. Free throws, their free throw attempts. I mean, free throws percentage, they're number 1. I think that just shows how I'm saying they if they get to the line, they're gonna hit their shots. I'm saying that's like there's teams that lose because of that. Ranked number 3-point percentage is not good. They're in the mid table, 16. But you know what I'm saying? They got a bunch of shooters that are gonna shoot a lot. They're like with James Harden and stuff like that. They're just gonna
Joe
get a lot of
Harris
open shots.
missed a lot of
Joe
games too.
Harris missed a lot of games too. So you know what I'm saying 2-point percentage though. Like you know what I'm saying they're ranked number 7. And then when you go to their shooting efficiency, they're ranked number 4 as a team. So they're pretty good offensive team. You know what I'm saying? Just because you know what I'm saying the threats they got, KD, James Harden, Kyrie's back in the lineup now, but they're a great offensive team. You know what I'm saying? And but the only thing is like they're gonna struggle with these teams that are great defensively. They're you know what I'm saying because offense is honestly is not gonna win you games. But the most I gotta take is like the shooting wise, opponent efficiency is number 4, which is surprising. It's surprisingly good. You know what I'm saying? That means that teams aren't they're ranked number 4. They're shooting at 50% pretty much efficiency. Uh, 3-point percentage for opponent. They're they're number 1.
Yeah, they've
Are
been
they?
number one for most of the season.
Yeah, opponent
Three-point
field goal
percentage.
yeah, 32 point. I think that's a big take.
It is.
Like holding teams to not you know what I'm saying to like holding not to shoot good. I mean it's pretty good. I think it's good. Like I wasn't expecting that. And opponent 2 percentage. That means in getting into the lane, like scoring inside, they're number 7. And an opponent shooting percentage, they're number 3.
Yeah, they're with the
So
teams on low
like
percentages.
you know what I'm
It's got to
saying?
be the. It's got to be like the second chance points that are fucking them up.
Yep. So not exactly. That's what I wanted to bring those up real quick because it shows that they're a great offensive team. Defensive wise, we all complain about it. Even me, I say it too. They're bad in the first step. They they give up a lot of open shots threes, but shit. I mean, they're number 1 in opponent percentage. So if you think about it, they give up a lot of shots, but if it's a team that's not hitting down their shots, they're gonna win. You know what I'm saying? They're good at that. So I think that they're ranked number 2 in opponent efficiency. They're ranked number 3 in rebounding. So it's just too many free points. Rebounding, they're the worst team, like one of the worst teams. They're offensive rebound. I'm not even talking about defensive. Offensive rebound, they're ranked number 27. They give up 12 rebounds a night, offensive rebounds. That's a lot of offensive rebounds, extra possessions, extra shots, open shots. Offensive rebounding, they're not a great team. Obviously, they're not known to be rebounding. It's 21, so you know what I'm saying they're not a team, but I think their offensive quarters, like I'm gonna go with the offense quarters. They're ranked number 2 in the first quarter, second quarter number 3, in the third quarter they're number 5, right? But then when you go to the fourth, they're ranked number 19, which shows that I don't know what it is. You know what I'm saying? They can't close out fucking games. We've seen it plenty of times this season where teams come back. And, you know what I'm saying? They're not a team that could hold their runs. They're not a good team that could hold their runs. And shit, it's bad. So now look at the defense numbers. They're ranked number 28 in the first quarters. You know what I'm saying? Bad. They're bad in the first quarters. Like they're like they give up too many points in the first quarter. Then in the second quarter, number 8. Then the third quarter is they're ranked 22, and then fourth quarter they're ranked number 7. So if you pay attention, they always start off bad. They always start off slow. So that what happens? You get these teams that start off slow, and these teams take advantage, and it's hard for them to come back. We've seen it plenty of times with these good ass teams, with the Bulls. I mean, every single team. There's a bunch of teams that blew them out. You know what I'm saying? And it just shows you that they just start off slow, and then when it matters, when they need to show up and lock in. I mean, number 8 in the second quarter when they're like comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Fourth quarter, number 7. You know what I'm saying? And you look at the other offensively. You know what I'm saying? They have always they're good. They start off good, and then fourth quarters their worst quarters. They're ranked number 9. How you top 10 in all the other quarters, but then you're pretty much ranked 19, 20, which is bad. I think you know what I'm saying. That means you can't close out the quarter, so it's really bad, and you're giving up already. You're one of the worst offensive rebounding teams. You give up pretty much. You're the second worst offensive team, like opponent on
You're supposed
fast
to be
break points.
positive, bro. This is probably the hardest one you had to do.
It's
If you do
hard.
not
No,
like
it's
that.
hard though. It's hard though. Not it's hard. But when I want to get out of it, it's like, you know what I'm saying? They just gotta. They're a great offensive team. They're a great offensive team. They're like number ones on that. But it's like it's hard to talk about them because they give up too many turnovers too. They're ranked 24. But the only thing that is good at their half court, which is gonna win them games, they're number 6. You know what I'm saying? All I'm trying to say is they're so good offensively that's winning them games. They're their second seed. So if you could put that in your head, second seed, playing like bad. You know what I'm saying? Like kind of bad defensively. You know what I'm saying? They're second team. So if they could lock in, their half court defense is number 15. So
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? They're not good. They give up open shots, threes. You know what I'm saying? Uh, but the only thing is like they're a great shot blocking team. Surprisingly, you know what I'm saying? They're ranked number 6. So I don't know. For me, what I was trying to get out of that, it was they're a good ass team. Honestly, offensively, they're gonna win games. But if they could just lock in on defense, or like I'm saying, these fast break points, I mean, this team, you know what I'm saying, they could. I mean, you know what I'm saying. Everybody expects them to go to the finals. Is either goes to the final or bust. You know what I'm saying, championship or bust. And you know what I'm saying, at this moment, they're a team to be watching offensively. They could be good if they could lock in on defense. They're a problem. That's all I was trying to get out of it.
All right, well, to me, my thoughts on the Nets, they have Kevin Durant, and he could win you any game in the NBA, no matter who you're playing up against. You get to a close game with 5 minutes left. He's the guy who won with the ball in his hands. That's first of all. And if the big three is playing, they're just scary. Like that's straight like that. You
Yeah,
have
you see the offense.
two
They're
guys
freaking
who
crazy.
last season were like top 7 guys in NBA. With KD obviously top 3, top 2, top 1, however you want to see it. And then you have James Harden, who could be the best player on any given night. Kyrie could be the best player on any given night. That's probably the biggest thing for them. That they have 3 guys that could be the best player in a playoff series, which is
Yeah,
like that's crazy. Only a couple of teams have that.
yeah. Like just the only team, like out of all other teams, this is the only team with freaking like the offense is gonna win you games. Honestly, like you know what I'm saying, they rely on their offense to win you games
I
because they
think
haven't.
there's another team on here that's like that too.
Okay. I just, but from what the 14s I did, they were like out of all of them, they were the only teams. Like I'm saying, like they were mid, like
There's a
they're
game
the
going on
offensive
right
win them
now.
games.
The
I'm
Hornets
not
are
sure.
playing
I
against
doubt
the
it.
Knicks. Yeah, the game started early. I didn't even know.
Oh, you know why?
It's MLK Day.
Today's Martin Luther
Yeah,
King.
there's
That's
games
why.
that
Yeah,
Philly plays at 2 o'clock. Brooklyn
yeah.
plays at 3.
I
Brooklyn
forgot
versus
I
the
was in.
Cavs. We get to it when we get to it, but now yeah, they're you have to
Like
see this team.
I don't want to take anything out of them. Like you know what I'm saying,
You have to see
there's
this team
I
when they're
did name
fully
a lot of
healthy.
but I had to bring it up because you know what I'm saying, like all of these stats show like their offense are one of the best in the league. You know what I'm saying? Like they're number 4 with shooting efficiency there. So far they've been winning them games. So if you know what I'm saying, if they could just step up on defense, those what I was trying to get is they could be a championship team. Like you see, just because like you said, KD, and he's playing at an MVP level. Like I think last season he was playing at MVP level. Honestly, he was. There's just so many good players that were playing better. I'm saying Jokic, the Nuggets were playing unbelievable. Uh, and B, you know what I'm saying? We were first seed, and B was playing unbelievable. His best career, his best season, career wise. You know what I'm saying? It was his best season. So, you know what I'm saying? Definitely KD could win you games. I think this team is scared. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a big fan of them, but they're a scary lineup. That 2 game where Aldridge is unstoppable. You know what I'm saying? Like what I said, this lineup had 11 games played, right? With Aldridge, KD, Harden, Mills, and Bembry. Their field goal was better. It was 66.7. That's a lot. That's efficient as hell. Reason why? Because they ran a bunch of 2-man game with Aldridge in the mid range and James Harden, KD. That 2-man game is lethal. It's really lethal.
I think if you're talking about come playoff time and their lineups, I think you got to put Kyrie Irving in the conversation.
Nah,
I know
yeah,
you. I know,
I'm not, I know. I'm just going
like
like
for me,
based off
yeah,
their
I feel
efficiency.
you. It's gonna be Kyrie, Harden, KD, and on the court with them is still we don't know, right?
You don't think Aldridge
Bembry,
deserves to close out the game with them?
no, hell no. He's getting picked apart defensively. That's been one of their biggest issues. Claxton maybe, but is he a good enough free throw shooter to close playoff games? That's
Look,
the issue too.
I
I
think you
think
go. Look,
Bembry is going to be on the court and Joe
mm,
Harris.
yeah, I think Bembry was. I was gonna say Bembry.
He's been great for
What
him
I
all
would do, I
season.
would. We seen live Aldridge play at the 5. We seen it live. He was speaking. He was torching us. If you could run Bembry at the 4, which I think he could play,
He could play.
I
He
think
could play the 5.
and you could
Play
force
the 5 against
Aldridge
Thursday.
and play the 5. I think, and maybe you force him to play with to play on the center guy. You know what I'm saying? The center. Maybe the pick and roll is gonna be threat, but try to hide him. Maybe you could do that, but
I don't know. I don't think they can, because like you look at it, you have multiple bad defenders on the floor, right? Because I think Kyrie, they're gonna put him and Kyrie in a pick and roll every time down. So I don't think you could. And I'm not even guessing. Depending on Day'Ron Sharpe closes this season, he might be in the closing lineup come playoff time, because he's just been great defensively, switching on the perimeter too. Like he's good at guarding pick and rolls. He's been a decent free throw shooter. I look at it, but he might be able to close. But I think it's definitely gonna be Joe Harris is on the court.
I just think it's gonna
And
be hard.
they could just go super small and just run teams off with Kyrie, Patty, Harden, Joe Harris, and KD at the 5. I just go
KD at the 5.
40% 3-point shooters plus on the court.
I was trying to get at that too. Like KD could play the 5, like no matter what.
He could close at the 5.
That's not a problem.
It'll be tough for him to play multiple minutes at the 5 because they're gonna get killed on the boards. And he's been a good rim protector since he got to Golden State. Yeah, it's all about really the X factor though is Steve Nash. If he's gonna be a good coach or not, because he just hasn't been.
Yeah, I mean, agree with you. Like I'm saying, defensively, but I just feel like he's been so good on offense. He's a threat, man. That mid-range game and in the playoffs, it's all half court. So if you could run that 2-man game and him, I'm saying he's a vet. He's been in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? I think like he wouldn't be, it wouldn't be a problem for him to play in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it wouldn't handle him.
It depends on the team. It depends on the team. I think, like, it really just like against like the Bulls. If for example, we're like playing against the Bulls, you could play him under just because Vucevic isn't too fast either.
Mm-hmm.
But team like the Bucks, no way. You probably go Blake Griffin close.
Yeah, no way.
5.
Yeah, no way. Because
against the Heat, I don't think you could do it either because Bam is just way too athletic for him to be guarding Bam. So I think for that one, you probably go Claxton closing at the 5. I guess it all depends on the matchup. And Joel Embiid, he could probably not, but he played good against Joel Embiid when we saw them play live. So he's their best option to throw on Joel. Because how strong he is, but he's still, I don't know, he's getting cooked. But I think we can move on.
Yeah, we can move on.
All right, next up, we got the Miami Heat, 3 seed in the Eastern Conference at the moment, 5th in offensive rating, 8th in defensive rating. Shooters up and down the roster, with surrounding the downhill threats of Jimmy, Bam, and then once he comes back, Victor Oladipo. Are you counting him in this, or what do you expect from him when he comes back?
For Oladipo, when he came back, he was shooting the threes. I mean, he wasn't shooting efficient. I wouldn't. I mean, he's always been a great shooter. I think that wouldn't be a problem with him.
I'm talking about So I'm looking at him not even as a high 3-point attempt, but getting to the basket is where I think he's going to be most lethal.
Oh yeah, I mean he's always been a great scorer.
Yeah, so I think he's going to still be a downhill.
For you to at one point in the lead in clutchest points in the league for the Pacers, it just shows his game is there. And I think he's always been a great scorer. It's just I'm saying he's been injured, man. That's the only thing.
Yeah, he's got to stay healthy. But surrounding those 3 guys, we have Lowry, Hero, Duncan, PJ Struz, Caleb Martin, Gabe Vincent, Markieff Morris, and Kyle Guy. Kyle Guy's got picked up to the 2-way, so he's staying with him for the rest of the season. He's shooting a high volume right now with the games he has played. I think one of their biggest like threats is that they have 5 guys I think could be the best player in the game on any given night, or on the court on any given night. Jimmy, Bam, Tyler Hero, Kyle Lowry.
Oh, I thought you said I thought that was Kyle Guy. You put
No,
Kyle.
hell no. Kyle, I can't be. He's not even. He might not
My
even play in the
bruh.
playoffs.
Yeah,
And I
my
think
fault,
Depot
man.
could be. He's had moments last season too where he's been that guy. All 5 of them have done this throughout this season and last season.
I feel like that. I agree with that. The only one it's gonna be hard is to Bam, just because his game is not that offensively. But like if you're talking about like, if you are talking about the best
Depends
player,
on.
you're not talking about just offensively. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
I'm not
right.
talking
Yeah,
about just like the best
yeah.
player on the court.
Overall, yeah,
Exactly,
yeah,
because
yeah.
but
I agree.
he's had he had that
I
during the
agree.
playoff run. He was the best player in that Celtics series,
Yeah, I agree.
where Jaylen Brown, Taysom Tatum, like they all played.
Yeah, he had a
And
good
Heroes
defense.
turned into that guy this season too. Like, he's been
Yeah,
the best player on the court multiple times. He just went up
he's
against Trae
shooting
Young,
so
outplayed
good.
him, outplayed multiple stars. And Kyle Lowry, with the impact that he has, the playmaking, the IQ, everything, he's been the best player in the playoff series as well. Depot is the biggest question mark, but if he comes back, I'm expecting him to come back. I think he's going to be a big piece. Like we said, the depth of this roster, I think, is the best in the league. With the shooters and the guys that they could have that could create off the dribble, a deep bench, a deep big man rotation with Bam, Yurtseven, Bam, Yurt, Deadman, Markieff Morris. I could play the 5. I think PG Tucker is gonna be playing the 5 in the playoffs. You have anything to say
PJ
about
Tucker
those?
at the 5.
He's gonna play games at the 5 in the playoffs.
Nah, it's gonna be Bam at the 5, and then you play him
I'm
at the
talking
4.
no, obviously I'm talking about as like in certain. I think in certain playoff situations, he's like you're gonna have to play him at the 5.
You got Yurt and Demon, man.
But they're slow.
Maybe
Like
Yurt is, but you still gonna need a rebounder out
it
there.
just
There's no way
depends
he's
on
going.
it depends on the
Tucker's not
roster.
a great rebounder. He's not.
He
Come
is a
on.
good rebounder, but I'm not. It's you're
Against the center, he's gonna get out.
against. How about this? If they play against the Hawks in a 7-game series and John Collins they have John Collins on the floor at all times, and Bam, let's say, and Bam comes off the floor, you're not about to put Deadman or Yurtseven in. Like against certain matchups, if they go, if the Lake,
he gets out rebounded by them.
How about this? If they play against the Nets and they go straight KD at the 5.
Yeah, that's different. That's the Nets. But you're going with Atlanta Hawks, the Bucks, Philly.
I'm saying
these guys. You can't play him at the center.
He's gonna play possessions at the center. He's played the 5 before in his career. He was playing the 5 last year for Milwaukee.
But they got a bunch of rebounders around. I don't know. It's hard.
I'm not saying he's playing 40 minutes a game at center. I'm not saying that. But he's going to have possessions and minutes in the game and stretches where he's on the court as the big man. Teams go small all the time. I think it's going to happen because I think Devin and Yurt are going to get killed in a pick and roll. And it's going to come a time in the playoffs. They get a deep playoff run and they have to take one of them off the court because they're getting cooked in the pick and roll. That's how I see it. But they're going to play low minutes anyway. But at all times, Bam or PJ Tucker is going to be in the game. So that's how I see it. And then going into a playoff situation, these are the biggest positives. 5th in offensive rating and 8th in defensive rating in the half court. Biggest problem they had is scoring in the half court throughout this entire tenure with Jimmy Butler. This year, they've been one of the most efficient offenses in the league. We've seen that. The defense, I think, is going to get better once they get healthy. And lastly, they're able to play different styles of game, including like the Suns, fast, slow, high scoring, low scoring. They were able to muck it up, shoot out. They could do it all. I think they match up well with these other teams too.
The Heat are definitely really good, man. Just because their offense been good, right? Their biggest thing coming into the season was they needed a guard, and what they do, they went off season, pick up probably the best guard that was on the table, which was Kyle Lowry. And you've seen what he's shown. He had improvement. Hands off Jimmy. Jimmy's, you know what I'm saying, takes a lot off his shoulder. You know what I'm saying, made him more of a scorer. And what happens? You add a point guard, you get your offense flowing, and you shoot more threes. What happens when you shoot more threes? You have players like who have been efficient this season, and they're I don't know exactly what your 3-point percentage is.
I had it written down.
Which I ranked it, but
we were top 10.
You guys definitely got to be like I'm saying a team that's shooting the ball really good. I could have sworn you guys went up like 30 or 40% compared to last year attempts.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken, or something like that.
Percentage, they're number 2.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, look at that. You know what I'm saying? You guys been good. And then on the other end, you guys got guys that could just switch on and off. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
the
You got
death lineup.
guys
I don't even have the death lineup written
who have
down.
PJ. You could throw
Oh
PJ,
yeah, no, I don't have it.
PJ, freaking Bam, and then Jimmy on these stars. You could
I
just
think
have
Caleb
them
Martin is into
waste
that
them off.
conversation
Yeah, and
too.
Caleb Martin too. There's a bunch of guys. You guys are a great defensive team, and then you guys got one of the best coaches in the league who's been doing his thing for like how long? I don't know. You
Yeah,
guys
he's
are really
been.
deep. It's a deep lineup. You guys are. I mean, other than the Bucks, you in the East, you guys are probably like you guys are over like a contender for the Nets. You guys are a better overall team than the Nets. You guys are saying this. You guys been really good.
I think Spoelstra gives them the biggest edge over a lot of these teams. Like talent wise, they're not always going to be there, but just like he hands down, I think the best coach in the NBA. The stuff that he gets out of these undrafted guys that nobody even knows, comes out of nowhere and just has a big game.
Yeah,
And he
you
just
guys,
puts he
you guys
plays guys
develop
in
good
this.
players.
He puts guys in roles to succeed. Like a lot of these guys that have been on this team that have gotten traded have fallen off the face of the earth. Winslow, Hassan Whiteside,
With Josh
Josh
Richardson.
Richardson. Like you don't even hear about these guys after they leave.
Yeah.
Rodney Magruder was a starter on the
Ronnie
Heat,
McGuire.
and he literally just doesn't get no burn anymore. Yeah, this, but
No, yeah.
closing wise, I just don't know. You think it's Jimmy, Kyle, Bam? I think are on the court, definitely closing the game out. The other two
Jimmy
are who you
Bam.
go with.
I'm going Jimmy Bam. Right. Obviously, Kyle got to play.
Yeah, Kyle, Jimmy, Bam.
Okay, those three, right? Um.
You go PJ.
Oh yeah,
You
PJ
have
got to
to.
play. Yeah, he has to.
And
And
the fourth
and
guy
there,
is
I'm going with. I'm gonna be honest with you. Just because he's big, he's bulky, and he's a great shooter. I gotta go with Max Strus. He's been so good all season, and he looks good. So he could just because he's a great defender, and then on the other end, he's shooting really good. You know what I'm saying? He's shooting really good with the ball. He's efficient,
and I think he's a good
and
ball
he's
handler
he's a
too.
great He reminds me a lot of Clay's game. I don't know why. Like offensively, he's because Clay's really he's like I think he's underrated for scoring inside. Like he's always been a great guy who's good at getting to the lane. You know what I'm saying just because his three's been a big threat. Like in the playoffs, he like you know what I'm saying against LeBron. How many times he used to take the guys in the lane? You know what I'm saying just because he would cover his three, and he's always been good. But Max Strus could definitely, I think he could be that guy in that lineup. Look at that, 67%
At the
at the
rim.
rim and
That's good.
42% at the from the 3 point line. Like what? I think and he's bulky. You know what I'm saying he could guard the four. He has good weight for that, and he has height. So I think he will probably play that.
I think it's like there's a lot of guys. I think it just depends on who's playing good that night. Like
Yeah, because Tyler Hero,
because
like if
Tyler
he's on
has a
fire,
case.
he
I
could play.
think depending on the matchup, I think Gabe Vincent has a case too.
Mm.
You have Duncan, obviously, if he's on fire, he has to close out a game. Like and then Victor Oladipo, we haven't even brought his name up. He could be on that lineup too. Like it's just they have so many options. I think it's the fifth guy is gonna change throughout who's playing good at that night and who are they going up against. I
Yeah.
think Caleb Martin's making a case for himself. Defensively, he's been great all season long.
Yeah, and he's on a what? He's on
On
a
a
2 week contract.
yeah, it's on a 2-way contract, and I think this is gonna get converted to he's gonna get a rotation spot, like a roster spot.
Yeah, that's
They
good for
got
him. I'm happy. The Hornets were crazy letting him go.
yeah, they've been him and his brother just been so good this season.
Yeah, this season.
That's why it didn't matter if he got let go because him and his brother played the exact same way.
Nah, they do, but still, look, wouldn't you
They're
want to
both
keep?
good
Ah,
defenders.
yeah, you was right though.
They're
I
both
feel you.
solid shooters. Like they're athletic too. Like him and Kyle Lowry,
It was hard to
they've had a
burn both.
chemistry. Yeah, him and Kyle Lowry have had a chemistry all season long. I felt like because they play a lot of minutes together with everybody in and out the lineup. I feel like them two have just been the mainstays.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We'll see. Tyler Hero, I think, is their biggest X factor though, coming to a playoff series
Tyler Hero, you're gonna need him
because he
to
could
play good.
go off on any given
If
night.
you could, you're saying like, if you could do what he did when you guys had that playoff final run. I mean, he was
I think
coming
he's
off
got to be
that.
better than that.
He was coming out. You think so? I don't think so. I think he got to be the same average 15. I think 15 is good enough. 15, 16.
If he could
Just
come off
score
the
coming
bench
off the
averaging like
bench.
18 points, he's averaging 21 right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I knew he was averaging 14.6 in that run. If I'm not wrong, 14 point or like around there, 15.
You think
in that
you
playoff
think
run?
Spoelstra has a under his sleeve to him to put Tyler Hero in the starting lineup
Nah, I
with
think
those other
I'm
5 starters? We seen
nah. It's
it when
gonna
they
be,
were in the bubble. They put
but it's because they didn't have
Kendrick
Kyler
Nunn.
though.
No,
You guys
Kendrick
didn't
no,
have
but
Kyler.
Kendrick Nunn was starting the whole season right at the one. And
Mm-hmm.
then as soon as the playoffs started, they put Goran Dragic starting at the one, and that just mucked everything up. I think he might have that under his sleeve to do that again, but we'll see. It's hard to
It's gonna
go.
be hard now
It's
because
hard to
now
see who's gonna go with it.
you didn't
It's
have
just
a
too deep.
playmaker
You
or a
don't
guy to
know.
handle. You didn't have
Yeah,
nobody to handle the ball at that time. That's really why he had to put him in the playoffs because
that's been the craziest thing is Kyle Lowry with just a whole bunch of randoms, and they just been winning games. It's the leadership that he's brought to this team this season. He's been I think if they get a All-Star appearance, it's going to be Jimmy Butler. He's probably the best candidate to win that. I think the most deserving is Kyle Lowry. He just kept his team afloat the entire time when everybody did not the lineup. He's been the most consistent, but he's not going to get it because these other guards in the East are like Fred VanVleet definitely deserves it over him. Maybe even a Jaylen Brown. I think we could move on. We could go to the
the
final team
last
we
team,
have, the
the
Chicago
last team we
Bulls.
got, Chicago's Bulls. They're what number 2 right now or 3? I don't even know where they're at right now in the stand. But I mean, surprising they're good. I mean, surprisingly they've been good. Nobody expects them to be this good. But I think they're deep. Like they're another sort of team that's really deep. Honestly, I like their lineups. They have, you know what I'm saying? They have Lonzo Ball. They got Zach Levine. You got Vuk. I mean, Patrick Williams was playing good. He went down. That sucks. But you could then Derrick Jones Jr., who's gave them good minutes, went down too. But like Ayu, who's a rook, he gives them good minutes. Man, he's shooting like 41% from the three. I mean, he's been really good. He adds energy. Kobe White, man, he's been really good. He's been so good for them. Like if you know, it's a crazy thing. If you go look on the Bulls lineups, I think their most efficient lineups, 2 out of the 3 is him on the lineup. Just because you know, what I'm saying he's been a great shooter all season, so they're good. Javante Green, man, he's good too. Just because you could run that small ball with him, he's so athletic. He's a great rebounder for his. You know, he's a great rebounder for his size, and he's a good cutter. So when you have DeMar DeRozan playing at an MVP level, it makes it easier for a lot of these guys. So, but I think their def lineup definitely would be with like Lonzo Ball, Zach Levine, Alex Caruso, DeMar, and I think you go with Tony Bradley. Depending,
Are you
nah,
serious?
I'm not gonna say nah. You go with Vuk, but their most efficient lineup out of all their lineups, it's the 4 guys I named. It's Tony Bradley. It's been their most efficient,
I think you also
and
got
it's been their most one of their most played. But
he started off slow to start the season though, and he's definitely picked it up as of recent. I want to see that. I want to see their best lineup over like
nah,
the
yeah,
last 30 days.
But
Like
I'm
that would be
talking about
something I
like
want to see because he
uh,
started off the season poor,
nah, yeah,
missing
he
shots he
picked it
doesn't
up.
miss.
He definitely picked it up. But I think like maybe I don't maybe Vuk might be at that point where he might. I'm saying maybe he is a threat in the defense, but you might have to take him out. But it's either between him or Tony Bradley. But I think Caruso got to close out. Reason why? Because he's so good, man. There's a lot on the court. He's like, you know what I'm saying? He's a playmaker. He's a decent shooter, which you know what I'm saying. I'm not saying he's the best shooter on the court, but you know what I'm saying you not a guy you want to leave him open, and he's an energy type of guy. He's a leader. He's good. He got to finish off the third quarter. But let me just get into their stats. Points per game, number 8. Fast break points, number 7. They're number 2. They're number 1 in 3-point percentage. They're the best shooting team. You know what I'm saying? If you look at their team, you're like, damn, they don't even got like crazy shooters like that, but they have surprisingly been good. I think it's their ball movement, just
Yeah, they lead the league.
the type of offense they run, man. It's just you know what I'm saying? Zach Levine, that 2-man game, he's a big threat from the 3-point. DeMar DeRozan, who you know what I'm saying, knows how to get into his hot spots, and teams are gonna double and they have these open shots. IU's been shooting 41% from the 3-point line, so you know what I'm saying, they're really good on offense. And in assists, they're number 13. what I'm saying? It's all right. Nothing. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't. That's not something I'm worried about because they're half court. Look at their guards. I think Lonzo Ball is like a traditional point guard. Honestly, in my opinion, he's a
I don't
traditional
think he
point
is.
guard. He, you know, what I'm saying he's a great passer. He's a great passer. His vision is there. You know, what I'm saying he's a pass threat needle type of guy. And obviously, like look at the lineup. It's hard for him to get the ball. He becomes more of a of a what's it called catch and shoot type of
I
guy
think
on the
he's a
court.
shooting guard in the half
Yeah,
court.
he becomes. That's what I'm saying. He becomes more because look at the games. You're running a lot of 2-man games with DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine, which is their main thing. They don't even go with Vuk. You know what I'm saying? They usually go with DeMar DeRozan. Reason why? Because they force the point guard on DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan shoots every single time over all these guys. He's a high elevation shooter. So you know what I'm saying. So he shoots over all these guys, and he's been like his mid range games. Like his numbers are crazy. He's playing at an MVP level.
Sure.
But that's like you know what I'm saying. And then field goal efficiency number 3. So they've been so good. You know what I'm saying they've been good. And then free throw percentage number 4. So you know what I'm saying they're a good free throw team. So if they go to the line, you know what I'm saying they're gonna make their free throws and shooting efficiency overall on offense. They're number 3. So they're really good. Rebounding wise, it's the only thing that I have a little problem with. They're ranked number 29. It's not good. But
Especially
then
with a
you
Vooch
go to
over there.
opponent 3-pointer made, they're ranked number 7. So you know what I'm saying they're really good. They're a good defensive team. I think honestly, surprisingly, the biggest thing was can they defend, and they have shown it. And they the numbers don't lie. They're the best shooting 3-point team. You know what I'm saying DeMar DeRozan's taking over. Uh, I think their main thing though I got out of it is personal fouls. How much fouls they give? Like they don't give up. They don't foul. They're a team that don't foul a lot. They're number 8. You know what I'm saying? So so that's really good for them. They're not giving up free points. And another thing, like I said, their assists is good, but their turnovers, they're ranked number 7. They got a bunch of you know what I'm saying. They're a good half court team. Honestly, they're a good half court team. You know what I'm saying? They're number 7, and in an offense on half court, they're ranked number 2. So you know what I'm saying being ranked number 2 at half court is like it shows how much of a threat they are in a 2-man game. They could go to a bunch of you know what I'm saying. You could get off ball screens, pin downs for Levine, Ball who's been shooting good off the ball. You know what I'm saying they've been really good honestly. And then I want to go to the offense on their quarters. They're a bad team in the first quarter, 18, ranked 18. Second quarter, they're 9.
No, not bad. They're mid. 18 is mid. That's middle of the pack.
18,
18 is middle of the pack. There's 30 teams in NBA.
but
I think from like 15 to like 19 is
it's
like
bad.
middle
That's
of the pack.
over. It's over and a half. There's 30 teams. I think that's over and a half. That's more than half. I think it's kind of bad.
That's middle of the pack to me. All right,
But it's like the first quarter doesn't really matter because
bad is
they
like
dropped
bottom
27.
bottom like
They
7.
dropped 27 points. But you know what I'm saying you have teams. It's the first quarter, so most teams are going. You know what I'm saying they're good. They're energy wise. They have more energy than any other quarter. So you know what I'm saying. But no, they're ranked number 9 in a second, which means you know what I'm saying before halftime they you know what I'm saying they lock in, they get comfortable. Numbers when they come out of halftime, they're ranked 16, and in the fourth quarter they're the second best fourth quarter team. They are the best closing team. I don't know who's number 1. I don't know. I don't know who's number 1, but the Bulls are the second best team. So in the fourth quarter, so I think honestly like it just shows DeMar DeRozan, and it shows. I love the pace of game too. I think they could play at a lot of pace. I'm saying, I think they could play like fast paced game. They could rely on you know what I'm saying giving up open shots 3. You know what I'm saying they could they could run a slow pace half court. They're the second best half court team. You know what I'm saying. And then on a fast break when they push fast pace, you got Caruso, Lonzo Ball, Zach LaVine, and then DeMar DeRozan on the fast break. These are all guys that are unselfish, great ball passers. You know what I'm saying. Fast paced type of players. So I think they could play. They're another team that could play in a lot of type of offense. So I think they're definitely a team to be watched out. I think the main thing to take out of it is just how good they've been to close out the fourth quarters. And DeMar
They're
DeRozan,
definitely
he's
a
been
great
so
first round
efficient.
team.
He's been so efficient. He's playing at MVP level. I think that his best we have seen. Honestly, I think him and another main thing, like I brought up a couple of episodes ago, they're so good at controlling the pace of a game. I'm saying like they're a team that's always gonna be in the game. Like they're good at controlling. They don't get wild. They don't take bad shots. You know what I'm saying they're really good offensively. And then at half court defense, they're ranked 17. You know what I'm saying? Just it's all right. They gotta be better. But I think that has to do a lot with Vuk, honestly. But he's showed a lot of more improvements though. But this
Yeah.
team, I mean, they're a team that you got to be scared, be worried about. Zach Levine is also, I mean, yep.
Hello.
You hear
Yeah,
me?
yeah, I hear you.
You heard what I said?
No,
I said, what do you think about them? What's your
I
mind on
think
them?
they're the. Me personally, I have a ceiling on this team. Think if everything breaks right, they could make a finals run. But I don't know. I see them. I just feel like it's hard for them to match up with some of these teams in the East. But like you said, they're great. They're a great closing team. They're good in crunch time. They're gonna be able to get their own shot at any point in the game. They're gonna be able to generate offense, which is just I think is their best attribute. And then coming down, I think they also have like what we said for these other teams, two guys, sometimes three, depending on the night for Vucevic, who could be the best player on the court at any given night.
Yeah, for
DeMar and
sure.
Zach Levine. And they have I like Delonzo. I like his ability he's a 3-and-D point guard, which is I think is kind of rare in this league. He's a great 3-point shooter and he's a great point of attack defender who could guard up too. I just think they need to find the right lineup. Are you gonna close with Are you gonna close with Alex Caruso and Zach Levine with Levine and with Levine,
I think
DeMar, and Vooch?
I
Is
think
that is that their
Derrick
go-to?
Jones Jr.'s got a. He's been if you look at their best lineup, I think Derrick Jones Jr. is their number one best lineup and when he's in it. I mean, he
But he's
could
not
also be in
closing
the
games
lineup
for me,
too.
bro. He's not closing games,
Why can't he?
bro. He's a zero on offense, bro. He's no way he's closing games.
Bro, he's what's his number 3 point? He's been alright in the 3 point. He's hit. I watched their games. He hit a couple, and he's a lob threat. He's good inside. He's energy. He could play through the screens. He's a great defender. He
Yo,
could play the
no
four.
way he's a 40%
Exactly,
3-point shooter
exactly.
on one attempt a game. So like
I,
that's nothing.
but still though, I mean, it's better than nothing.
He's taken 37. He's made 15,
I think you could still. I
and
think you could still rely on him though.
he shot 31 last year, 28, 30, 18, 16, 27. I see, like I can't. I don't know. I don't think he can close out games. Last possession, you need to stop. That's the guy you're putting on the court. But hell no, he's not closing no damn games, bro.
Efficient field goal percentage, 64, 58 from the field goal.
Yeah, he takes a lot of his buckets coming at the rim tonight. Like I like Derrick Jones Jr., but I don't think he's closing out games for them. I think you go Caruso, Lonzo, Levine, DeMar at the 4 with Vucevic. Yeah.
Yes, I don't know but they're definitely a good team to be careful
Yeah.
with.
X Factor with I'll have to
The
probably
X
go.
factor,
I think I
Kobe
would
White.
go I think I would go Lonzo.
You think Lonzo? I think Kobe White. They're gonna need that bench unit. He's like I said.
He could
Um,
close out some
you,
games too.
if you look all their lineups, I think Kobe White is also like, and he's two of the three best lineups, efficient, like the most played. He's in it. Just because look at they have Demar, Zach Levine on the court, him, Lonzo Ball, and they have Vuk. It just stretches out the court. You know what I'm saying? With him on the court. And I mean, Kobe White, he's been aggressive too. If I'm not mistaken, what he's averaging 16, 15, maybe less. But he's been shooting
He's
good.
on he's on a hot streak right now. Last 15 games, he's been playing really well.
Yeah. So Kobe White, I mean, I think he could be the X factor. Just he's in the same like I'm saying they're gonna need that second unit to go crazy, and when DeMar DeRozan. But what I love about the Bulls is that they stretch out their rotation. For DeMar DeRozan, it's not when the first half. You know what I'm saying? The first type of half, DeMar DeRozan doesn't run a lot of. He runs like the first 5 minutes with the starting lineup. Then the rest of it, like the second and third into the fourth, he's running with the second unit. It's most of the time him. It's DeMar DeRozan with the second unit, and it's been good. I mean, it's been effective. I think he's found like the little rotation type of lineup he could run, and it's. I mean, they've been effective. Look at them. They're in the top three right now in the East. Nobody expected them to be this good. Nobody did. So I mean, the coaching staff definitely has. I mean, Billy Donovan's been always a good coach. I mean, he's been in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? I think the Bulls could make a run. Honestly, I believe they could make a run. I think I have them. I have them beating the Nets in a 7-game series. I think a 7-game series is a bad matchup for the Nets, but you know what I'm saying, and anything could happen. Anything literally could happen.
Yeah.
So you never know. We seen the Hawks. You know what I'm saying? The Hawks just had that run, that crazy ass run.
Everything has a break right matchup wise.
Yeah.
That's how it goes. Yeah. So before we put a bow on this discussion, can you rank the 8 teams for me in order for you right now?
So the ranked teams, as of right now,
as championship contenders.
Right now, I'm going
like in the playoff wise, like rank these 8 teams.
All right, I'm going from 1 to 8. I'm just start from the top. It's gonna be easier. Suns, I think number 1. I mean, I'm disrespectful if I don't put them number 1 on offense and number 1 on defense.
Yeah.
And not even that. I mean, they haven't shown no type of you know what I'm saying? They haven't
from last season. They just showed to get better.
Like the Warriors, you know what I'm saying? Like the Warriors, we see now how much of a factor Draymond Green's, because that team's not the same without Draymond. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going with the Suns, Warriors, Bucks, Miami. Then I think I have to go maybe Memphis. I think Memphis might be that 15.
You go Memphis. Okay, so you go Memphis.
Oh no, Utah. Brooklyn. I put Brooklyn. No, I said no.
I'm saying, but you're putting those over Brooklyn. You had your order so far was Suns, Warriors, Bucks, Heat. 5th, you're going who?
The Heat. I'm putting Memphis over Utah. I think Memphis is a harder team to beat in a 7-game series. I think Utah, you know what I'm saying, just because of that Rudy Gobert and that 3. I mean, him playing that drop is going to be lethal.
You go Utah 6?
Utah, and then I'm going
7, 8. You going what? Bulls or Warriors? I mean, Bulls
or Utah 6, Brooklyn 7,
and then Bulls 8.
And Bulls. Nah, am I gonna put the Bulls that low?
But
you're right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
It's not you putting them that low. That's just
it's not that low. But the Bulls are right there. Yeah, if you think about it,
I would probably go mostly the same order, except I would probably put, if I'm talking about winning the finals chances, I'm going
Brooklyn over
Suns.
Utah. Probably.
I'm going Brooklyn over Memphis too. I'm going Brooklyn 5, but I'm picking those. I think those are the top 4 teams that's been in the NBA this season throughout consistency. I think those have been the top 4 on both sides of the ball, so that matters.
Yeah, for sure.
But we've been going for a while. Let's just get out the predictions and shut this shit down. So we can skip these first 2 games since they're already going on. We'll go. This is about to happen like right now. Philly Wizards.
Philly.
I
mean, it's literally starting.
All right, Brooklyn Cavs.
Cavs. Ooh.
Yeah.
You wildin'. These are the games today. Oh man, the games are good. I'm gonna hop on to watch these games.
Brooklyn. I mean, we got Chicago at Memphis at 3:30.
Good ass game. TNT game.
I got Memphis.
I got Bulls. I'm going with the Bulls in this one.
Pacers, Clippers.
Pacers.
Got Clips. Bucks, Hawks. Bucks.
It's a TNT.
Blazers, Magic.
Magic.
Yeah,
Magic might pull this one. They're in Orlando too.
Or Toronto, Miami. Damn, and Kyle Lowry's not playing. Bam Day though. What's your expectations for Bam tonight? Before we move on, what's the expectation?
Oh, he's playing.
Bam night. I'm so excited.
He's going for 10 and 10.
I think he finishes the game with like 14, 9, like 4 assists, but great effort on defense. I think
he's gonna have a good game. I mean,
I think so.
Play style is,
and they're small, the Raptors, so he should have a good game. But they usually defend him crazy. Yo, they put OG and Anunoby on him, and
But
OG be
does he
shutting
play-
Bam down.
Is he gonna play a lot now?
Bam? I think it's I don't
20
think he's on a
minutes?
minute restriction. I think he's gonna play like 30
He's not a minute
or
restriction,
28.
nothing?
I don't think so. No.
Yeah, they didn't say nothing.
I
Yeah,
think
they
he's
didn't say
fine.
nothing
It was a
about it.
hand injury, so I don't think it's nothing. And they say he's been ramping up, so he doesn't need a ramp up period either.
Mm.
All right, so Thunder Mavericks, we go Mavs.
Thunder.
Okay.
I
Suns,
mean,
Spurs,
Mavs.
Suns,
I'm drunk. Mavs.
Suns.
Suns.
Then Jazz,
Jazz,
Lakers.
Lakers.
Jazz.
And the night. I'm going with Lakers.
All right, tomorrow, Minnesota, New York. New York.
I'm going New York.
I got Knicks.
No,
yeah.
Minnesota. I got Minnesota.
Pistons,
I got Minnesota.
Warriors. I got Pistons.
I got Warriors.
Orlando, Philly.
Nah, Philly.
Philly.
Even
yeah.
though these motherfuckers play good as hell against us, I swear both times we play with them against them, they gave
Wendell
us
Carter Jr.
struggles.
he's not a bad guy for you to match up with Embiid.
Yeah, with
defensively,
Embiid,
because he
he's
has the
not-
size and he has the length.
Nah.
I mean, he has the speed.
But he just got to stay out of foul trouble. He always
Yeah.
does get in foul trouble on him. I mean, that happens a lot with these center, like
Brooklyn,
Embiid and Jokic.
Brooklyn, Washington.
Brooklyn.
I got Brooklyn too. Minnesota, Atlanta. Nah, I got Minnesota.
I think I got Minnesota. I think they're a bad matchup for him.
Hornets, Celtics. I got
Hornets.
the Hornets. Blazers, Heat. I got the Heat.
He,
Cavs, Bulls. I got the Cavs.
then Chicago.
I think the Cavs are a bad matchup
Bulls.
for them
You think so? They could be.
because of the length.
could
Because
be
you're gonna
'cause
have
of
DeMar guarding Evan
Yeah,
Mobley.
DeMar. That could be
So I think
They're
that's
gonna need
it's
Mobley to
hard.
be-
It's a difficult matchup.
aggressive.
Memphis, Bucks. Damn, Memphis is on a. They have a lot of hard games. I think the Bucks pull this one.
Yeah, the Bucks win this. And it's in
Raptors,
Milwaukee.
Mavs.
I'm going
Mavs.
Mavs here.
Thunder against the Spurs.
Spurs.
Rockets, Jazz. I got Spurs too. No, I got Thunder. Rockets,
Jazz.
Jazz. I got the Jazz. Clippers, Nuggets.
Nuggets.
Pistons,
Pistons,
Kings.
Kings.
I got the Pistons.
Not
Yeah,
the Pistons. I mean
Pacers,
Kings.
Lakers.
I ain't gonna lie, not Kings.
I
I'm
got the
switching on that
Pistons.
King.
Pacers, Lakers.
Lakers. But hey,
Yeah, I got the
Lakers.
Pacers.
you got the Pacers?
Yeah, I think they're too big. All right. Thank y'all for tuning in. We'll be back Thursday and
We out.